T-minus 10, 9, 8.
The clock is operating. We're underway.
Tranquility Base here. Endeavor, go at throttle.
And good Thursday morning to you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2014 USCSA National Championships here live from Lake Placid, New York, in the beautiful Adirondack Mountains of northern New York, as we get set to bring you exciting double coverage here on the USCSA Broadcast Network today. Live coverage of both runs of the men's slalom and the women's slalom here from Whiteface Mountain. Hi, everybody. Boss Hogg alongside Alex Beatty as we are set to bring you the real deal. The big show today, both the ladies and the men's. 2 runs of slalom competition. We'll crown 2 national champions here later on this afternoon. Alex Beatty, a big day off yesterday for the USCSA broadcast team as a result of having to deal with the aftermath of the snowpocalypse Vulcan that blew across the northern New York area late yesterday. And, of course, we are now all set to go. An enormous amount of work done to get this trail ready to go. But we are set for 2 big runs of slalom action from both the men and the women.
Absolutely, boss. High winds and heavy snowfall shut down parts of Whiteface Mountain yesterday, making the race impossible to hold. That slalom was postponed till today. We'll see both the men and the women coming down in just a few moments, and it should be one heck of a race.
The 2014 USCSA National Championships are brought to you in part by Patagonia. Their mission: to build the best product, cause no unnecessary harm, and to use business to inspire and implement solutions to the environmental crisis. Learn more at Patagonia.com. Proud supporters of the USCSA. And by Reliable Racing. Whether it's Alpine or Nordic ski racing apparel and equipment, hill and event supply, sports timing equipment, or just hard-to-find race gear, Reliable Racing is your one-stop shop. Check them out on the web at ReliableRacing.com. And by Hurricane Racing. When it's custom team Alpine, Nordic, or cycling race apparel you seek, Hurricane Racing delivers. Demand the very best in custom printed ski suits, jackets, pants, and race apparel. Demand Hurricane Racing, official sponsors of the National Championships. And by Twitchell Sportswear, the home of Yeti apparel. Boss wears Yeti. When you're facing truly abominable weather, the Yeti has you covered. Check out their complete collection at TwitchellSportswear.com. Proud supporters of the USCSA. A big race here for the men. We'll get started with 2 runs of men's action. Also, the ladies coming down as well as a result of their event being postponed yesterday. But first, let's take a look at this beautiful Whiteface Mountain, and most importantly, the incredible run we're coming down. It is the Parkway to Thruway to Draper Drop run. Same run used back in 1980 in the Winter Olympic Games for the men's and the women's GS and slalom. We are here today. History made back in 1980, of course, and we're going to make some more history this afternoon here in Lake Placid. So let's take a quick break, and here is the Dandy Cam, courtesy of the USCSA Broadcast Network. Some incredible footage courtesy of Dandy Cam here in the USCSA Broadcast Network as we are ready to bring you live action here from the Whiteface Mountain in beautiful Lake Placid, New York, home of the 1932 and 1980 Winter Olympic Games. Let's take a look at our course conditions and our race conditions here for the men's and women's run number 1. About 6 degrees outside with an 88% humidity. 655 meters is the start shack. We'll drop down here to the finish corral at 467 meters for a total vertical drop of 188 meters. 58 gates, 59 direction changes. Paul Van Slyke, our chief of race today, and we are in for a dandy. Sit back and relax, folks, and welcome, as we're glad you've joined us on the World Wide Web at USCSA.com. Of course, our broadcast page is broadcast.uscsa.com, or you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Ustream, all at USCSA. We'll start with the men here in run number 1. 104 racers getting ready to come down. And then we'll immediately go. As you can see here on the race course, we have set 2 slalom courses. We'll be using one for the men and one for the women. That'll help us get a couple of these runs in a little bit quicker without having to reset for the change from the ladies to the guys. So a great race in store for you. Austin Taylor is going to be our first out of the gate from the University of British Columbia as we get ready for our forerunners. Of course, an honor to be chosen as a forerunner here for the national championships, and we're just moments away from those forerunners. A big day 2 days ago here as we saw the men's giant slalom here on the same trail, Alex Beatty, and what an exciting GS it was in the middle of a blinding snowstorm.
Absolutely, boss. These racers had some tough conditions to deal with in that race. Of course, Niels Hoogboom of Rocky Mountain College took home the gold with the fastest first and second run times. His rival Jaka Yazbek from Sierra Nevada College took home second place, and Hakan Schoenheder of St. Olaf rounded out your top 3 there. So all 3 of those racers, definitely keep your eyes on them. Of course, last year, Niels Hoogboom took home the championship in this slalom event, and he definitely is hoping for a repeat performance, boss.
Indeed, that was on Wednesday afternoon here at Whiteface at Lake Placid. Tuesday, the women's got things started on the Alpine competition slate with the women's GS, and of course, it was all Frida Svedberg from Rocky Mountain College. Svedberg just blowing the field away, a 2.5 lead after the first run. She went and added an additional second to that in the second run, winning the race by 2.5 seconds. One of the most commanding performances we've ever seen in a national championship.
Absolutely, boss. Frida Svedberg, the Western Conference Slalom champion as well. Look to her to attempt a repeat performance today, boss. She is definitely a technical specialist.
Now our forerunners now coming down. We'll see 3 forerunners. They'll, of course, radio information back to the start shack just to make sure any last-minute course preparations or changes need to be made by this incredible USCSA and the NYSEF Lake Placid race crew. Nothing but fantastic support from the mountain here at Lake Placid. Folks, this is an absolutely epic facility. If you're ever in the have the opportunity to make your way up here to the northern part of New York State in the Adirondack Mountains, you must stop by Lake Placid and the Whiteface Mountain. It is fantastic here, and we have been treated like royalty since we've been here all week. Of course, USCSA National Championship action going on all over the Lake Placid area. Here at the Alpine venue today, 2 runs of the slalom for both the men and the women. Then over at the Nordic facility, cross-country competition going on as well. We also have the freestyle skiers and the snowboarders. They're participating here in a different part of the mountain at Lake Placid. So all kinds of great collegiate snow sports national championship racing here, and we welcome you to come and visit. If you can, of course, you can check it out all live right here on the USCSA Broadcast Network, as Boss Hogg and Alex Beatty will bring it to you all the way through tomorrow. A big schedule on the plate as well. We'll be back, of course, live on the air tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time as we bring you coverage of the big, huge ceremonies and the jumping competition here from the ski jump. That's later on tonight. Then back here at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning as we will fire up the men's and women's dual panel slalom, one of the most exciting events here at the USCSA National Championships. and we'll bring you live bell-to-bell coverage of that event starting at 8:45 a.m. tomorrow morning. Looks like we're seeing our final forerunner now coming down the hill. And I'll tell you something, Alex Beatty, this thing looks like a wild ride here, especially at the bottom of the course where there is a super flush of gates that these racers will have to contend with. Of course, they left the hardest flush on the entire race course for the last 3 or 4 gates. Because they want to make sure that the legs are completely nuclear when you have to come and pull them out of the bag and try to navigate your way into the finish corral.
Absolutely, boss. We're starting to see some trouble sections develop on this course. Of course, that super flush, 4-gate flush near the bottom of the course that you've already mentioned. Also, that transition, we've seen it all week from that very flat section of the course to the steeps there, that final section that we can see from our broadcast booth. A very steep section, and that's going to make some issues for these racers. They'll have to make sure to really stay on that edge and harness the speed that they're carrying into that section if they want to successfully complete this course.
Looks like we are just about ready to get underway. We'll see University of British Columbia's Austin Taylor. He'll be followed by the University of Minnesota Duluth's Michael Murray. Nicholas Balta from Cornell, along with Julian Scherding from Northeast University. Nils Hoogboom, the superstar and national champion, 2 days ago in the men's giant slalom. He'll be wearing bib number 5, coming down in the 5th position. Certainly someone to watch here today.
Absolutely, boss. He's been dominant this week, and he wants to take home 2 gold medals. 1 is not enough for Nils Hoogboom. We'll see if he can successfully make it happen, boss.
Well, there's no doubt he has been thinking about that to try to double up and win both the GS and the slalom here at the USCSA Nationals. A very difficult feat indeed, but Hoogboom obviously primed and ready for this competition. He's been looking forward to it all week long. I had an opportunity to speak to his coach of Rocky Mountain College, Jerry Wolf, and Jerry said Hoogboom has been totally focused on Lake Placid for the last 2 months of the season, really preparing especially hard for this competition, and it showed on Wednesday during his GS run.
Absolutely, boss. He'll need some help from the Rocky Mountain team with a disappointing day in the giant slalom 2 days ago. They could not successfully have 3 racers finish the course and were punished severely with a disappointing finish in the team competition. They are looking to rebound strong here. Rocky Mountain, a perennial contender, last year's slalom champions. They are definitely a team to watch, boss.
Well, with Rocky Mountain's team problems in the men's GS a couple of days ago, it opened the door up for a couple of other universities to jump in. And Skip Fox's Clarkson College and University, they came out of nowhere to finish 2nd place in the team competition as we watched the awards being handed out at the Convention Center in Lake Placid that afternoon. We saw the Clarkson team make their way to the podium in 2nd, and then another complete surprise team championship in 3rd place from Hobart William Smith College. Both of those teams, as you could see at the award ceremony, Alex, completely ecstatic about their performances here in the giant slalom.
Absolutely, boss. The name of the game for those teams was consistency. They had many racers finish a deep and consistent team, so they are definitely reeling from those victories. Clarkson and Hobart and William Smith, they are promising to finish well today as well, boss.
We are just about ready to get underway. Austin Taylor is now on course, wearing bib number 1 from the University of British Columbia. He'll be followed by the University of Minnesota Duluth's Michael Murray. And here comes Austin Taylor into view as he makes his way in the top half of the slalom. These gates very tight together here. Of course, the set by, well, let's see, it's Mike LeBlanc is our setter for the men's first run. Jacob Olson will set for the 2nd run. As Austin Taylor now making his way over the head wall into the final third of this huge and steep slalom course. It starts out relatively flat, Alex Beatty, and then once they make that hard right-hand turn to the head wall, it just speeds up and shoots them down this hill.
Absolutely, boss. You can see Austin Taylor getting a little bit late there, riding in the back seat for a little while, but he has recovered now, and he will cross the finish line, boss.
Indeed, a congratulations to Austin Taylor making it down. The first runner is complete at 54.35. Now Michael Murray, faster than Taylor in the first split shack from the University of Minnesota Duluth. He's wearing bib number 2. And it looks like Nicholas Balta from Cornell University also on pace, and he is flying down the mountain. Balta with the fastest time so far in the split shack. Meanwhile, here at the bottom, 4 gates to go for Michael Murray, and Murray across with a time of 53.59. That's going to put him in the lead. Nicholas Balta's got a good run going now. 15 or 20 gates to go for Nicholas Balta as he skied well at the top of the run. Balta from Cornell University had a good performance in the GS, now trying to match it up here with a slalom day. 5 gates to go for Balta. Now Balta into the super flush and across the stripe in a time of 51.83. Good enough for the lead. The fastest time so far belonging to Cornell University's Nicholas Balta.
Absolutely, boss. A strong run from Nicholas Balta from Cornell. This Cornell team hoping to rebound from a disappointing finish last year in slalom.
It looks like Julian Schurting from Northeast University got way in the back seat and was unable to recover. That's going to be the end of the day for Schurting. Remember, you have to complete the first run to get a chance at the second run. And a tough break for Julian Schurting from Northeast. Now it's Rocky Mountain College's Nils Hoogboom wearing bib number 5. Hoogboom, the national champion in the GS, skiing very well, letting the skis do all the work, trying to keep the body pointing in the line. Now the super flush. He got late, but he's recovered. Here comes Hoogboom, 3 gates to go, and what a run for Nils Hoogboom from Rocky Mountain College. Hoogboom with the fastest time of the day at 49.34. What a rocket ride for Nils Hoogboom.
Absolutely, boss. 2.5 seconds faster than second place. Nils Hoogboom has jumped out to an early lead, and you have to imagine that Rocky Mountain College team really impressed with that performance, boss.
49.34 for Nils Hoogboom, Rocky Mountain College's superstar and speed demon out of the GS, 2-time back-to-back national champion. He has certainly set the bar here in run number 1 of the men's slalom. We'll see Carter Dowd from Babson College. He is awaiting run number 1 from the start shack. But Hoogboom atop your leaderboard. Followed by Cornell's Nicholas Balta, the University of Minnesota Duluth, Mike Murray, and Austin Taylor from University of British Columbia rounding out your top 4. As we await Carter Dowd here from the start shack, we'll also see Oliver Hopkins, Kevin Hartman, Griffin Struck, Matthew Couture, Andre Arneson, Sam Ricker, and Stefan Schmidt.
Carter Dowd, the sophomore from Babson College, now standing in the start gate, surveying the plastic forest of gates below him. Definitely the anticipation mounting for Carter Dowd, the Eastern Conference Slalom champion, a racer to watch today. This Babson team has been dominant in this event, placing 4th last year at Sun Valley in the Slalom Championship run, and Carter Dowd is leading the charge for this Babson squad.
Babson fielding a fantastic Alpine slate here for the men's competition. Always great to see them bring a strong team to the USCSA National Championships. And as we saw Alex Beatty back in the giant slalom, it is anyone's race. Anything can happen to these racers. Who would have thought we would have seen 3 or 4 DNFs from Rocky Mountain College in the GS, leaving Nils Hoogboom just about the only time that was on the chart for Rocky Mountain. His younger brother, the little Hoogboom, had a run going that was faster than Nils Hoogboom's run, but he blew out in the second run right at the top of the head wall here. And as we said, anything can happen in these runs, and it opens the doors wide open for teams that maybe didn't think they had a chance at getting on a podium. But Clarkson took advantage of that. So did Hobart William Smith in the GS, and that's why we run the races. You never know what's going to happen. Very unpredictable here in a national championship.
Absolutely, boss, and speed isn't everything. Technique so important in these races, and that is what slalom is about here today. A slower, more technical event. You'll see a lot of the athletes preferring that kind of race, boss. They have quick feet, maybe not excited to go quite as fast as they do in the GS, and we should see a very different turn of events today.
An incredibly cold and chilly afternoon yesterday here in Lake Placid. Temperatures going below zero overnight. We woke up to about 5 below zero down in the village of Lake Placid this morning before we made it up here to Whiteface Mountain. But as we got up here, the temperatures began to rise, and it looks like we're calling for high 20s, low 30s this afternoon. That's going to change things considerably. It changes the wax setups. It changes all of the things as we are starting out on cold snow, but they're expecting 15 to 20 to 25 degree temperature changes here later on this afternoon. It is a cloudy day in Lake Placid, but the sun is trying to pop out as we can see it trying to light up the top of Whiteface Mountain here today. It looks like the skies may be clearing on this afternoon, and we could have 35 degrees and sunny for run number 2.
Absolutely, boss. Expect this course to hold up pretty well here if the temperatures can stay below freezing. If they do make it above freezing, we could see some rutting develop, maybe some pockets in that course, making it a little bit tricky for the athletes coming down later this morning.
As a result of our Alpine competition being postponed yesterday due to weather and race conditions, we had an opportunity, Alex Beatty and I, to make our way down to the Skier Cross and the Border Cross course, also located very close here to the Alpine venue, down the mountain just a little bit further. Of course, Alex and I had the chance to announce that race. It's our first opportunity to announce the Border Cross and Skier Cross here at USCSA National Championships. Boss Hogg and Alex were located in the Clam 6800, which is the most incredible portable building I've ever seen. Manufactured someplace in Duluth, Minnesota. Boss is now reaching out to the Clam 6800 manufacturer to see if he can actually be powered by Clam. So Boss Hogg could come back to Nationals next year powered by Clam. You don't even have a response to that, do you?
Boss, I'm just looking forward to the 2015 USCSA National Championship Clam Bake. Should be an exciting event.
Indeed. Also want to thank little Kristen Weber for making these beautiful, soft diaper neckies. And Boss Hogg is wearing one of the neckies today. He's got it on his head, and I slide it over my neck when it gets cold. But Miss Weber has outfitted many of us here at the USCSA with these fantastic little soft neckies. She must be a seamstress. I think that's what they do. They clam fish and they sew up in Minnesota. That's kind of the big deal. So still have a break, a hold in the action here as we are getting our timing system straightened away. But we are glad you're with us on the USCSA Broadcast Network. Boss Hogg, Alex Beatty bringing it to you from the Olympic Broadcast Center here on the side of Whiteface Mountain, the bottom of Draper's Drop, the home of the 1980 Winter Olympic Games. If you're watching our video feed right now, you will see the Kirsten Weber neckies that are being displayed here all over it. Apparently, she must have made 100 of them. Everyone's wearing them. I mean, I guess if you come to a ski mountain and they give you a neckie, look at that. It's like a beautiful, soft diaper that you put over your face. It's a neck gaiter, I believe. They're referring to them as neck gaiters. And proudly worn here by most of the USCSA support staff at the Alpine venue. Don't forget, folks, back here with you tomorrow morning, right at 9 o'clock, we will open up coverage of the dual panel slalom, both the ladies and the men, coming down in what has to be one of the most exciting national championship events here at Nationals each and every year. Our inaugural year of the dual panel slalom last year in Sun Valley, Idaho, over in the Warm Springs base area. And certainly a great event. We loved it so much. We had it back this year. We're going to have it every year, and we'll bring you live coverage of the dual panel slalom right here on the USCSA Broadcast Network beginning at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. And it looks like we are now back to live action here as bib number 6's Carter Dowd from Babson College has dropped into the course, now on the top section, making his way through this very flat but technical part of the course. Alex, there can be no speed loss in the first 15 or 20 gates of this run. Then they shoot him over the head wall, and we now see coming into our view Carter Dowd from Babson College. 25 gates to go for Dowd. They spread him out here in the steep part of the head wall and then stack him right up close, almost a flush here in the last 15 or 20 gates. Dowd now navigating his way through the center section into the lower third. Here comes Carter Dowd from Babson College, bib number 6. Second fastest at the intermediate split shack. 5 gates to go and a super flush. He's got it going on. Here's Carter Dowd, and across the stripe in 52.11. Good enough for third place for Dowd.
Strong run from Carter Dowd, the sophomore Civil War reenactment major from Babson College. Looks like he had a little bit of trouble there on that steep section, giving a lot of racers trouble, boss. That's an area to watch about halfway down that bottom section of the course there.
Now on course, bib number 8 from the Colorado School of Mines. It's Kevin Hartman. Before him, Oliver Hopkinson from Duke University. He had trouble. That'll be the end of the day for Hopkinson. Of course, the Southeast Conference and the Dirty South well represented here at this year's national championships. Meanwhile, back to live action, Kevin Hartman from the Colorado School of Mines makes his way into the final 10 gates in the super flush. Hartman, fourth fastest at the split shot. He'll have to pour it on and punches the stripe with a time of 52.46. That's good enough for fourth place. So still Rocky Mountain College's Nils Hoogboom, the superstar in the giant slalom, winning a national championship 2 days ago. Your current leader with the fastest time of 49.34. Back to live action. Now it's Griffin Struck from the University of Connecticut, wearing bib 9. Now into the flush comes Struck. 5 gates to go to the finish for Griffin Struck. And across the line, it's Struck into the corral with a time of 52.61.
John Griffin Struck handled those last few combinations very well, boss. He was on his toes, just back and forth on his skis. Excellent technical performance there.
Now it's Matt Couture. Couture had the fastest time in the split shack. Can he go ahead and take care of Nils Hoogboom's atop of the leaderboard? He is skiing well here into the final 4 gates. Here comes Matthew Couture. Couture lost a little bit of time in the bottom section from Castleton College. He'll finish with a 52.13, good enough for fourth place. He was fast at the top, Alex Beatty. Couture had it going on. Now it's Andre Aronson from Sierra Nevada College. Andre Aronson. No, check that. That's Arneson. Andre Arneson. The Eagle from Incline Village now punching the stripe with a time of 51.41. A great run for Andre Arneson from Sierra Nevada College. That's going to put him right behind Hoogboom in the second spot. Now we're seeing Sam Ricker from Penn State University, the Nittany Lion now, trained from Carabasset Valley, Maine, now in Pennsylvania. Ricker skiing well here and wearing bib number 12. He makes it successfully through the flush. Now 5 gates to go for Sam Ricker. He's late. He had to really get in the back seat, and he punched his way through, wearing the historic and famous Sam Ricker red neck piece. And Ricker across with a time of 54.10.
It's like Ricker had some trouble there in those final few combinations. That hairpin near the finish, carrying a lot of speed into there and just couldn't stay on those edges. He had to scrub some speed, but still finished with a solid time.
And it looks like a tough break for Stefan Schmidt from the Naval Academy. Schmidt had a good run going in the top, but came over the head wall, had to hit that hard right-hand turn and make his way into the steeps. He got in the back seat, was unable to recover. And so that's going to be the end of the day for the United States Naval Academy, Stefan Schmidt. Meanwhile, back to live action. Now Austin Florian from Clarkson College. 14 is the bib number. Florian with good runs in the giant slalom 2 days ago. Third fastest at the intermediate shack. Making his way now through the steep section. He'll be up onto the super flush momentarily. Really letting the legs do the work. Trying to keep the body still up top. A good run here for Austin Florian. Now into the super flush comes Florian. Successfully navigates the flush, 4 gates to go. Now Florian punching the stripe with a time of 51.44, good enough for third place. A great run for Clarkson College's Austin Florian. Now it's Håkan Schoenhader wearing bib 15. Schoenhader third in the men's GS 2 days ago. Here comes Schoenhader with the fastest first time intermediate split. That's going to be the end of the day for Schoenhader. Is he going to hike it? Yes, he's going to hike it. He's going to hike it. Schoenhader almost lost the day, and he did hike for the run. Now Schoenhader back on course. He's going to try to finish this just to earn a second run. What a tough break for Håkan Schoenhader, as Schoenhader certainly had a chance here in this slalom. It is a crazy ride down this head wall.
Absolutely, Boston. Håkan Schoenhader, more of a speed specialist, struggled last year in this event as well, but redemption as he will earn a second run.
Yep, gutsy way to hike up that hill, especially in the steepest part of the run. Now back to live action. Taylor Hunter wearing bib 16 from the University of Michigan. The Wolverine now through the super flush with 5 gates to go for Hunter Taylor. Taylor Hunter, and across the stripe in 51.49, good enough for 4th place. Fast and furious action here in run number 1 of the men's slalom here from Whiteface Mountain. All part of our double coverage here of ladies and men's slalom championship racing from Lake Placid, New York.
Now Paul Kutke from Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. He's down, boss, struggling there in that bottom of that steep section. Looks like he has slid a couple gates down. We'll see if he gets up and decides to continue. It looks like that could be the end of the day for Paul Kutke. A tough break there for this Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute team, boss. Paul Kutke finished 10th in the giant slalom, but it looks like that'll be the end of his day today, boss.
Now back to live action. Graham Collins from the University of Nevada, Reno. Collins now into the super flush. Just got cleared out of the way, so Collins was not obstructed. Collins now with 5 gates to go. Slicing the stripe is Collins into the corral with a time of 56.92. Weston Traub from Hobart William Smith College wearing bib number 19. He's on course. He'll be followed by the University of California, Berkeley's Josh Nixon wearing bib 20. Now it's Weston Traub. Traub into the flush. 5 gates to go for Traub. 14th fastest. He'll have to pour it on to really score a time here, and he crosses in 53.28, so he did pick up some speed at the bottom of the course. Good enough for 10th place.
Absolutely, boss. It's that tricky steeps there at the top of this bottom head wall there. You have to see it's a very, very turny and technical part of the course. These racers have to be very quick and early on those turns, boss.
Undoubtedly, the transition giving some of these ski racers a tough time. And there it is, the steep part of this course. It is really, really creating some havoc for these men racers here in run number 1. Josh Nixon from Cal Berkeley, bib number 20. He was able to make the gates, but he had to scrub all of the speed. Now he's back on course. To the super flush comes Nixon. Chase Ennis from Rhode Island. Check that. That is Rochester Institute of Technology. He's on course, and across the stripe, it's Josh Nixon from UCal Berkeley. The time of 1:16.27. That was just basically a way to get a second run, but he will earn a second run later on this afternoon. We'll bring that to you live. Chase Ennis now from Rochester Institute of Technology wearing bib 21. 5 gates to go for Ennis. He's followed by Jimmy Zoomer from Princeton. And into the corral comes Chase Ennis from RIT 104.10. Now we're seeing bib number 22, Jimmy Zuber, the superstar from Princeton University. The Ivy League now well represented by Jimmy Zuber in the New Jersey Conference.
Jimmy Zuber, an individual qualifying from Princeton, representing the Princeton Tigers out here. It's got to be tough, boss, coming here as an individual racer. Don't have that team support. And Jimmy Zuber having some trouble in the combinations. He's back now on course, keeps it together. Tremendous display of athleticism. And Jimmy Zuber, bib number 22. We'll see him this afternoon.
Oh, and a wild ride now from Zach Schenk from the College of Idaho. This kid is just famous for wild rides. He had a wild one here into the finish corral in the GS. Now Schenk, the Predator from Caldwell, Idaho, making his way to the super flush, but he's late. That's going to be it. That's going to be it for Zach Schenk, but what a great ride as Zach Schenk, always entertaining to watch here at the USCSA National Championships. A tough break for him. He will not earn the second run, but a great competition in both the GS and the slalom for Schenk. Always fun to watch him race.
Absolutely, boss. Tough break there for Zach Schenk. Those bottom few turns, a very turny and tight part of this course. He just got tripped up and lost it there in the super flush.
Now coming across the stripe, it's Riley Harris from Ohio State University with a time of 52.13. A great run for Harris. That's good enough for 7th place. Now coming down the head wall is Connor Krell from the University of Massachusetts wearing bib number 25. Jimmy Zuber's time, 110.02 for our scorekeeper outside the broadcast center here. Now into the super flush comes Connor Krell from the University of Massachusetts. He'll be followed by Jackson Valet. And across the stripe into the corral, it's Krell with a 54.08.
Strong run from Connor Krell, the fourth-place finisher in slalom in the Eastern Conference Regional Championships. This UMass team has been doing very well in the slalom, finished fifth last year at Nationals, and Connor Krell has been leading the charge.
Now 10 gates to go for Jackson Valet.
It's like Valet almost lost it there on one ski, about 10 gates from the bottom, and he totally blows it there. He tripped up, he hooked a gate on that last set of combinations, that last hairpin, and that'll do it for Jackson Valet of the University of Colorado.
Tough break for Valet. He had a good run going. It was a wild ride here, and again, now it is starting to happen. We can see this head wall really starting to cause havoc for these racers here in run number 1 as Cornell's John Lubeau wearing bib 27. He had to take a stop, hike a little bit. Now he's back on course into the super flush. It is really tough to get going again. Once you've missed a gate and you've got to hike, all of a sudden the lactic acid begins to just flood into the legs. It's really hard to get the rhythm back.
Absolutely, boss, and you got to get all of that speed that you've lost. You have to find a way to channel it, harness all the power of your skis into that bottom section. It makes it very difficult to finish with a fast time.
Now we see Eddie Arita from the Colorado School of Mines now into the final 4 gates and across into the corral. It's Eddie Arita. Arita with a time of 101.96. He's followed by Devin Dymick, the Nittany Lion from Penn State wearing bib 29. Dymick successfully navigates the head wall portion of the lower part of this course. Now into the super flush comes Dymick. Dymick with 5 gates to go. Devin Dymick from Penn State University successfully down in run number 1 with a time of 58.33. Grady Gores from St. Olaf College wearing bib 30 now on your screen, 18th fastest at the intermediate split shack, and Gores is out. Again, it's the same spot, Alex Beatty. You can see just about 10 gates, 12 gates down the head wall. There seems to be a direction change that's combined with a pitch change that is really causing problems for these men.
Absolutely, boss. That transition from flats to steeps was too much for Grady Gores, and now he is back off course again. The exhaustion of that hike looks like it was too much for Grady Gores of St. Olaf, and that'll be the end of his day, boss.
Tyler Baumgartner now from the University of Nevada, Reno. He's off course, so it is starting to become a carnage run here in run number 1. Certainly a challenging set by Michael LeBlanc.
Absolutely, boss, and just the changes in pitch in this course, a lot of these athletes just not used to that here in a slalom run. Some of the steepest terrain on the mountain, on Whiteface Mountain, is here in this slalom course. It's that middle section of the course, that very turny and tight part of the course. And these athletes are just struggling just to stay on their skis, boss.
Of course, the set also very, very tight. So once you get late, once you get in the back seat, it is really hard to get the skis turned around again. But it appears Michael Cadman from the University of British Columbia, he is navigating well and skiing fast. 24th fastest after the intermediate split. He'll have to pour it on here in the bottom. But a smooth run for Michael Cadman. Cadman wearing bib number 32 into the final 4 gates, and now across the stripe, it's Michael Cadman from the University of British Columbia with a time of 55.91. Now it's Tyler Ringenscheid from the University of Minnesota Duluth, 21st fastest at the split shack. A good afternoon 2 days ago in the men's giant slalom for Ringenscheid. And now on course from Sierra Nevada College, it's Jaka Yazbek, and that's going to be the end of the day for Ringenscheid.
So don't get late there, boss, on that tight section near the top of that head wall, and he is done for the day.
Here comes Jaka Yazbek, the speed demon from Incline Village in Sierra Nevada College, coached by Bronco Zagar. Yazbek finishing second in the men's giant slalom 2 days ago. He had a war going on with Hoogboom, and it looks like it's continuing today as Yazbek skiing very, very well now down the head wall. Yazbek 7th fastest after the split shack, so certainly trying to keep it in control. He knows he's got to finish run 1 to get run 2. Now he's late, but back in. The super flush for Yazbek. Now Yazbek with 5 gates to go. Here comes Jaka Yazbek from Sierra Nevada College across the stripe with a time of 51.66. That's good enough for 5th place here in run number 1 from Jaka Yazbek from Sierra Nevada College.
Kind of a disappointing first run for Jaka Yazbek. Last year's 2nd place in the Slalom National Championships. He'll have to dial it in for that 2nd run if he wants to take away a medal today, boss.
Hobart William Smith College's Sam Wallace wearing bib number 35 now making his way down the head wall into the final 15 gates. Now the super flush for Wallace. Hobart William Smith finishing third in the team competition in the men's giant slalom. A surprise podium for Hobart William Smith, and they are back now with confidence. It's amazing what a podium can do the first day of competition for the second day of competition.
Absolutely, boss, and with so many athletes going down early in this competition, you might see some more conservative skiing from the later athletes, just hoping to finish well for their teams and earn a team title.
And no question about that. Now back to live action. Benjamin Hanna now from Castleton College across in 53-51. He'll be followed by Kane Boynton from the University of Michigan, the Wolverine wearing bib 37. Now on course also from the Naval Academy, William Lavis.
Kane Boynton there having a wild ride, got in the back seat now, just struggling to stay in the course. You can see the exhaustion as he makes his way into the super flush. Almost loses it there, skidding out of the course, but he is down. He will finish, boss. An incredible performance, throwing a pole into the ground in celebration is bib number 37, Kane Boynton from the University of Michigan.
Yes, indeed, wearing the Real Tree camo speed suit here. A fantastic performance from Kane Boynton. They know how to do it up in Michigan, no doubt about it. Kane will get a second run later this afternoon. And that's the end of the day for William Lavis from the Naval Academy. Lavis having a tough time making his way down the head wall. A tough break for Lavis. Spencer Dahl from Duke University now wearing bib 39. He is on course. He'll be followed by Graham Quisenberry from Babson, now dropping in from the start shack. And here comes Spencer Dahl. Dahl, 31st fastest after the split. Dahl into the super flush now, trying to ski conservatively.
See him navigate those gates and having some trouble there. Spencer Dahl hiking up. Wants to be a Blue Devil and not a Tar Heel. He is back on course, skiing into the final set of combinations, and he will cross the finish line. That's bib number 39, Spencer Dahl from Duke University, finished with a time of 1:11.44.
Now back to live action. It's Graham Quisenberry from Babson College. Quisenberry carrying good speed off the head wall, now into the flush. And he gets through the flush. 4 gates to go for Quisenberry. Good run for Graham Quisenberry as he punches a stripe in 59.37. Good enough for 25th position. Now high on the head wall, it is Sean Donahue from Clarkson University. Donahue missing a gate, having to hike. That'll certainly add some time to his first run time, but most importantly, if he can navigate the super flush in the final 10 gates, he'll get second run later on today. Here's Clarkson, Sean Donahue. And Donahue punching the stripe with a time of 55.94. That's a tough break for Donahue. He had a good run going there and had to actually come to a complete stop and hike just a couple of steps, picked it back up. Would have been interesting to see what kind of time Donahue could have posted. He'll be back for run number 2 later on this afternoon. Mark Nebraska, Johnny Utah's brother from the University of Connecticut, wearing bib number 42. Now into the super flush comes Nebraska. Nebraska with 4 gates to go. Now into the corral comes Nebraska with a time of 59.17, good enough for 26th place. Run down quickly your top 5. In the 5th slot, Yaka Yazbek from Sierra Nevada, Taylor Hunter from University of Michigan in 4th, Austin Florian in 3rd from Clarkson, Andre Arneson from Sierra Nevada in 2nd, and still your leader from Rocky Mountain, it's Nils Hogbo. Meanwhile, back to live action here at the bottom. And that is Thomas Licata from Northeastern University. Licata driven by the spirit of Rob Visconti, and now de Licata across the stripe into the finish corral with a time of 1:04.34. A wild ride for Licata here at the bottom of this run. Fast and Furious here, run number 1, Men's United States Collegiate Ski and Snowboard Association National Championship. Jared Foster from RPI. Rensselaer Polytech's Jared Foster across in 56.55, good enough for 23rd position. And now it's Eric Hoogboom. Eric Hoogboom from Rocky Mountain College, bib number 45, the fastest time in the intermediate split ahead of his brother. It's the little Hoogboom now through the flush. He navigates properly. 4 gates to go for Hoogboom. This is a big run for Eric Hoogboom, and Hoogboom not enough to overtake his brother. 49.52, good enough for 2nd place. So you've got Nils Hoogboom from Rocky Mountain with a 49.34 in 1st. The baby brother Eric Hoogboom from Rocky Mountain in 2nd with a 49.52. Is this going to be a family affair here later this afternoon?
Very well could be, boss. Redemption for Eric Hoogboom after going out early in the giant slalom 2 days ago. He will get a second run, and we will see some family sparks fly there, boss.
Now it's Tomas Dabronsky from Penn State. The Nittany Lion now into the corral with a time of 57.46. Wearing bib number 46. Tomas Dobronsky, a good first run. He'll be back for run number 2 later this afternoon. Back to live action, now down the head wall. Bib 47, Clarkson University's Charles Loth. Loth making his way now through the center section of the head wall into the flush. And now the super flush for Loth. Oh, and he kicks it out hard. Had to get back into the back seat, but now back into control. Good speed, and across a stripe is Charles Loth from Clarkson University. What a great run for Loth. 52.02, good enough for 8th place. Of course, we'll take the top 30 racers here from the morning session. We'll reverse that order. That's the order they'll come down in run number 2. We call that the flip. So very, very important to try to get in the top 30 here in run number 1 so you can make that flip later on this afternoon. Patrick Papp from the University, check that, the Naval Academy. Pat Papp, wearing bib number 48, 37th fastest at the split shack. Now Papp down through the head wall into the super flush. And Papp has a good run going here. Nice to see the Naval Academy guys well represented here this year at the 2014 National Championships. And Papp across in 101.17. St. Olaf College's Matt Hoffman now on a wild ride down the head wall. He'll be followed by Sam Barber from Babson College. And the super flush shooting Matt Hoffman right out, but he was able to use core strength to gather it together. The edge is working well on Hoffman's skis, and he comes across in 55.98, good enough for 25th place.
It's a relatively clean run there for Matthew Hoffman, and St. Olaf needed it, boss. Their captain, Hacken Sean Hayter, having a rough time this morning, but he successfully completed his run. They'll need solid runs from their remaining athletes if they want to stay competitive in this team competition.
Now it's Sam Barber from Babson College, bib number 50, 30th fastest. He wants to try to get under that 30th spot. He punches the line with a time of 56.01, good enough for 26, so he made up good time in the bottom section. Now we see Jake Wellian from the University of British Columbia making his way over the head wall, now into the steep part of the head wall, facing the broadcast center here at Lake Placid's Whiteface Mountain. Finlay Neeson from Sierra Nevada College now on course. He'll be followed by John Tarpey from Duke University.
Jake Wellian, the Canadian Studies major out of British Columbia, navigating these final few gates with some trepidation there as he makes his way into the super flush. Looks like he wants to make sure he gets down this course in one piece so we can see him this afternoon.
Indeed, and he does. Successfully down Jake Wellian from the University of British Columbia. Followed right next to, right behind him is Finlay Neeson. And Neeson with a good run from Sierra Nevada College. What a speed demon. Finlay Neeson out of nowhere, 51.16. That's good enough for 3rd place. Tough break for John Tarpey. John Tarpey on track. He looks like he has skied off the course. That's going to be the end of the day for bib number 53, John Tarpey. Jack Norp now, your racer on course, bib 54 from Hobart William Smith. Norp, of course, being a big contributor in the Hobart William Smith GS 3rd place finish for the team 2 days ago in the Giant Slalom. And now Norp, he's off course. So a tough break for Jack Norp. Norp high above the head wall, had a tough time with the transition, and it looks like right behind him is Artem Talanov from Cornell University. And it appears that Artem Talanov may have skied out as well. So back-to-back ski racers having a tough time making the transition over the head wall. And as you can see, it really does shoot you over that head wall, Alex. These kids are having a tough time making that transition because they throw the pitch and the direction change right at the same time at you.
Absolutely, boss. These racers moving from skiers left to skiers right just for that bottom section of that course really puts the strain on the legs as they struggle to guide their bodies into that section of the course. Looks like that's Artem Talanov of Cornell, boss. He is off course now, and he's back into it after a brief hike, skiing strong now into the super flush. He is letting those skis do all the talking for him. He will cross the finish line. That is bib number 55, Artem Talanov of Cornell. He will finish with a time of 103.39.
Back to live action now. Down the head wall comes Northeastern University's Nicholas Sherman wearing bib number 56. Sherman 27th fastest after the first intermediate split shack. Now into the super flush comes Sherman. Sherman from Northeastern University skiing well, really getting on the edge here, trying to keep the body down, and he punches across in 104.98.
Sherman, of course, led by the Yellow King, Rob Visconti, the king of Corcosa, telling his team that life is a flat circle. before today's race. Nick Sherman, a strong run from Northeastern.
Now back to live action. Maximilian Prank from Colorado School of Mines. Across the stripe in a time of 1:00.18 for Maximilian Prank. Ryan Kresser from RPI, Rensselaer Polytech Institute, bib 58. Now coming down the middle of the head wall, it's Kresser. He'll be followed by Robert Chambers. Chambers now dropping in from the top. Here to the super flush is Ryan Kresser. Rensselaer Polytech Institute's Ryan Kresser. Kresser with a successful first run here in the men's slalom with a time of 57.54, just outside the flip in 31st position. University of Connecticut's Robert Chambers now, bib 59 on course. Chambers skiing wide, trying to get back in front of the gates. He is. He was a little late in the back seat. Now to the super flush comes Chambers. Nice to see the University of Connecticut well represented here at Nationals this year. And across into the corral comes Robert Chambers. Meanwhile, Steven Siddall, he was on course in bib number 60. He is skied out high above the course. The sun popping out now. You really get a chance to see this big lower head wall. It is steep and curvy. And it's going to take some real pro runs to have a competitive time here after run number 1 leading into this afternoon session.
Absolutely, Boston. Harlan Collins of Rocky Mountain College having a solid run right now. 6th fastest after the first intermediate split track. Harlan Collins, a dual competitor in both the slalom, giant slalom, and the skier cross as well. He placed very well yesterday. You can see why, boss. Great technique there into the super flush. Harlan Collins having a wild ride there.
And here comes Collins. Collins punching across in 52.28. That's good enough for 13th place for Collins. So Collins looking to make the flip here for run number 2. University of Michigan Duluth's that's Andrew Alberg on course. Alberg now into the lower third. In the final 20 gates comes Alberg.
Alberg, the sophomore from the University of Minnesota Duluth, majoring in ski tuning and waxing. Into the final section there. Those combinations gets a little bit late now into the hairpin and across the finish line. Bib number 62, Andrew Alberg from Minnesota Duluth with a time of 1:02.44.
Now we see University of Nevada Reno's Brian Beersdorf wearing bib number 63. We'll wait for Beersdorf to come across the top. And here comes Beersdorf. Beersdorf from the University of Nevada, Reno. At the top of the head wall now making his way into the lower third of the course. He'll be followed by Carl Robacek from Castleton College wearing bib 64.
It'll be important for Brian Beersdorf of Nevada, Reno to finish with a very fast time here. Of course, the fastest time in the first run will get to run 30th in the second run, and the fastest time overall will win today's race.
Now into the final 5 gates comes Brian Beersdorf from the University of Nevada at Reno. Beersdorf into the corral with a time of 1:05.58. He'll be followed by Castleton College's Carl Robacek wearing bib number 64. Robacek now through the steep portion as he works his way up into the super flush. Now into the flush. It's Robacek. Castleton College's Carl Robacek with a good run here in run number 1 as he is into the corral with a time of 56.17. The man on the bubble. 30th position. He will hope no one comes down faster than 56.17, but still about 50 racers to come. Let's go down your top 5 here. In 5th, Austin Florian from Clarkson. In 4th, it's Andre Arneson from Sierra Nevada College. His teammate Finlay Neeson in the 3rd slot. And the Rocky Mountain College Eric Hoogbaum in 2nd. His brother, Nils Hoogbaum, the defending national champion in this race from last year, your leader. Meanwhile, back to live action. Adam Sapers from Northeastern University across in 101.41, and now it's Cannon O'Brien. O'Brien now from Sierra Nevada College wearing bib 66. A good run in the giant slalom for O'Brien. Here comes Cannon O'Brien, and across in a time of 53.04. Good enough for 16th place for Cannon O'Brien and the Sierra Nevada College Eagles.
Looked like Cannon O'Brien had some trouble there in the steeps. He got a little bit late on some of those gates in that very turny section, and it cost him some time, boss.
Now it's Trevor Panuski. Panuski from the University of Minnesota Duluth wearing bib 67. Panuski having to scrape some speed down the head wall. Now back on in front of the skis. Really is a lot about balance here in the slalom, especially when they're coming down the pitch, Alex Beatty, as Trevor Panuski from University of Minnesota Duluth is across in a time of 1:00.98. Tough break for Taylor Phillips. Phillips wearing bib number 68. He is now off course. That's going to be the end of the day for Phillips. Jackson Hammersley from the University of British Columbia now on course wearing bib number 69.
British Columbia needs a strong run from Jackson Hammersley, the sophomore Canadian Studies major out of British Columbia. Of course, British Columbia finished 7th last year in the slalom in these national championships, and Jackson Hammersley has been a solid competitor for this team. He'll need to really pour it on here, boss.
So Jackson Hammersley now on course. We'll see Kevin Dacos from Babson College. He is now on course, dropping in from the start shack. And awaiting run number 1, Tyler Smith from Penn State University. Meanwhile, back to live action. Bib 69, Jackson Hammersley from the University of British Columbia, now through the steep section into the Super Flush. Here comes Jackson Hammersley. Now Hammersley scrapes some speed. He wants to make sure he navigates this flush correctly. He does. And across the finish line is Jackson Hammersley from the University of British Columbia with a time of 1:15.19. Kevin Dacos from Babson College, he is skied out. So this course, Alex Beatty, high, middle, and low, just throwing all kinds of problems to these racers. And now the sun is out with bright, sunny skies. It looks like the clouds are going to blow out of here. We're going to have a bluebird afternoon here at Lake Placid.
Absolutely, boss. Just when you think you've successfully handled the technical section and the top flat part of this course, you get treated to some intense steeps, the likes of which you may have never skied before. Tyler Smith of Penn State having some trouble there, but he is skiing very well now into this bottom section. Handles the combinations like a champion. Cross-blocking. Oh, and he gets almost some trouble there. He crosses the finish line. We'll have to go to the replay to see what happened there, but bib number 71, Tyler Smith from Penn State, finished with a time of 58.89.
Now from Rensselaer Polytech Institute, it's Greg Merrill wearing bib number 72. Merrill now successfully through the head wall. Into the final flush comes Greg Merrill. Merrill wearing the matching bright pink knee band across the right leg. And he punches a stripe with a 103.16. Rocky Mountain College's Thomas Vandal down, wearing bib 74. Thomas Vandal from Rocky Mountain College has gone down. They were looking for a competitive time. Rocky Mountain was in the team competition from Thomas Vandal. And much like 2 days ago in the giant slalom, Vandal having difficulty navigating. That's going to be the end of the day for Thomas Vandal. And most importantly, Alex, Rocky Mountain loses another competitive time off that team competition.
Absolutely, boss. Thomas Vandal, the freshman sensation from Rocky Mountain, lost in a sea of red and blue as he is off course now. Also, Henry Ferran joining him, bib number 75. He has skied off course as well. That's bib number 75, Henry Ferran from Hobart and William Smith College.
I can't even tell you how many first runs have been ended short here on the men's competition because the list is so long it doesn't even show on my computer screen. I can only see the top 10, but I know there's more down there.
Absolutely, boss. Definitely some attrition here on this very tricky and technical course. We'll have a smaller field this afternoon.
We saved the best for last for the national championships. There is only tough skiing here during the Alpine competition. This is where we separate the boys from the men, and today it is going to take a real man to make it through 2 runs of this Lake Placid Whiteface Mountain 1980 Olympic course. Now back to live action. And the final 3 gates comes Lars Midthun. Lars Midthun from St. Olaf College in bib 77, 56.67 for Midthun. Cornell University's Trevor Davenport now on course. He's followed by Clarkson University's Christian Perryman. Down the head wall into the super flush comes Davenport. Davenport from Cornell University. Cornell sporting a good team here at this year's Nationals. 3 gates to go. And now across is Trevor Davenport from Cornell University with a time of 58.54.
Now bib number 79, Christian Perryman from Clarkson. The Knights hoping for a strong run here from Christian Perryman. The Clarkson team has been skiing very consistently all week. They have 2 racers now in the top 10. If they can get a strong run here from Perryman, they are looking at a podium. Here's bib number 79, Christian Perryman. Finishes with a time of 55.65. So the Clarkson Knights staying very competitive in today's race, boss.
Now wearing bib number 80, it is Gordon Mason from Castleton College. Mason now into the Super Flush. He'll be followed by the University of Michigan's Andrew Thomas, and now dropping in UConn's Stephen Brown. Into the corral, it is Gordon Mason from Castleton College with a time of 56.31.
Great run there from Gordon Mason, boss. No surprises, this Castleton team has been on the hill since 3:30 this morning. Their patented night practices. Looks like bib number 81, Andrew Thomas of Michigan, had some trouble there in that steep section. Very tight turns, and he just couldn't stay out in front of those turns. He is off course. That's bib number 81, Andrew Thomas. That's the end of his slalom day, boss.
Tough break for Thomas. Now back to live action. Bib 82 from the University of Connecticut. It's Stephen Brown. Brown, 36 fastest after the first split jack. He's followed by Duke University's Matt Hyland. And awaiting run number 1 from the start jack from the University of Michigan, it's Nicholas Hill. Into the Super Flush comes Stephen Brown from the University of Connecticut. And the Big Husky across in a time of 57.36 for Stephen Brown. Duke University's Matt Hyland now is off course. That's going to be a DNF for Hyland. So all over, high and low, left and right, middle and end. This course is turning out to be a monster in run number 1 for the Men's National Championship Slalom.
Absolutely, boss, and this Duke University team struggling just to get a racer down this course successfully. The steeps there definitely factoring in. You don't see conditions like this too often in North Carolina, boss.
Well, there's no doubt the surface here very firm, although we received a lot of snow. It definitely set up last night, and it is almost an ice track up there, but still plenty of snow to grab a hold of. Not a lot of rutting development developing as we can see, so a super fast race course here, but it is providing all kinds of problems, including one to Nicholas Hill wearing bib 84, and that's going to be the end of the day for University of Michigan's Nicholas Hill. He had a good run going, but just made it over that steep section here on the head wall, and the direction change combined with the pitch change was too much for Hill. Now back to live action. Cornell University's Michael Wolcott wearing bib number 86, 56 fastest at the first intermediate jack. Wolcott successfully navigating the middle section now into the lower third in the Super Flush. Here comes Michael Wolcott from Cornell University. Wolcott with 5 gates to go. Here comes Mike Wolcott. And Wolcott across the corral in a time of 59.17. Evan Cook from Babson College right behind him, now over the head wall into the steep. Evan Cook. He'll be followed by Alexander Karlberg from the University of Minnesota Duluth. Now into the Super Flush comes Evan Cook. Cook was 42nd fastest at the split jack. He'll have to pour it on to make the flip. And Cook now safely into the corral with a 57.11. He did make up good time in the bottom, but not quite enough for the flip. That'll put him in 37th position. Let's take a quick break and go over our top 5 here. In fact, we'll go over our top 10. In the 10th slot from Babson, it's Carter Dowd. In 9th, Clarkson University's Charles Loth. In 8th, Nicholas Balta from Cornell. Sierra Nevada College's Yaka Yazbek in 7th. In the 6th slot, it's Taylor Hunter from the University of Michigan. Now rounding out your top 5 from Clarkson, Austin Florian in 5th. Andre Arneson from Sierra Nevada College in 4th. In 3rd, it's Finlay Neeson, and then the Hoogbaum brothers. Eric in 2nd, and Brother Nils in 1st. Meanwhile, back to live action here at the bottom. Alexander Karlberg from the University of Minnesota Duluth had a good run going. Looks like he really had a tough time coming out of the Super Flush into the final 4 gates. He was able to recover. 117.23 will be his final time.
That's Alexander Karlberg, the sophomore out of University of Minnesota Duluth, 3-time winner of the Best in Show award in the Midwest Division. We'll see him this afternoon, but Reed Drexel right now of Castleton staying in course, having some trouble there, but he will finish successfully. Kept it clean in that bottom section. A solid run from bib number 89. Reed Drexel of Castleton State College. He'll finish with a time of 103.93.
And it looks like Hunter Rosenthal from Hobart William Smith College. He had a tough time coming out of the steep section here on the head wall into the Super Flush.
It's like a long hike there for Hunter Rosenthal of Hobart and William Smith. And looks like he has given up on that. That'll be the end of his day. So a tough break for Hunter Rosenthal, boss.
Now coming over the head wall into the final half of this men's first run slalom. Incredibly difficult run set by Michael LeBlanc. It's Daniel Wigmore from Northeastern University wearing bib number 91. Wigmore with a small picture of Rob Visconti in his back pocket as he skis. He'll be followed by Richard Scanlon from the University of Connecticut. You know, Alex, do you think Rob Visconti knows how much we talk about him here in the USCSA broadcast?
I'm sure he's watching every moment of this resurgent Northeastern University team that has been so dominant all year. Bib number 91, Daniel Wigmore of Northeastern finishes with a time of 105.60.
Richard Scanlon now from the University of Connecticut wearing bib number 94. He was 44th fastest at the split shack. He'll have to pour it on to make the flip. Successfully. Oh, he made it through the flush and then had a tough time on that final gate. Looked like he hooked the front of his skis. Let's see if he's going to be okay. And you can see these legs are nuclear for these men as they come down here. They're just shaking here in the bottom 5 gates. That certainly has something to do with this head wall and the super flush. Now back to live action. It's Elias Stewart's from Sierra Nevada College. Stewart's with a good run going. 6th fastest at the split shack. Now punches his way into the final stripe. And 5th place for Elias Stewart's with a time of 51.43. So another Sierra Nevada racer coming in a top 5 position. And again, it is stacking up to be another war of the worlds here between Rocky Mountain College and Sierra Nevada College. The Hoogboom brothers in slots 1 and 2, and then 3, 4, and 5 belonging to Neeson, Arneson, and Stewart's from Sierra Nevada College.
Looks like we have Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute's Gregory Lerner on course, bib number 97. Crossing the finish line now, had some trouble there in that bottom section. Bib number 97 finishes with a time of 104.96. Now it's Andrija Vukovic from the Rocky Mountain College, 13th fastest after the first intermediate there. He is skiing well into the bottom, carrying some speed across the finish line. That's bib number 98, Andrija Vukovic from Rocky Mountain College. Good enough for 14th with a time of 52.22. So Rocky Mountain College needed that solid run there. They are battling it out with Sierra Nevada for that top spot, occupying 1st and 2nd. Sierra Nevada occupying spots 3, 4, and 5. And it looks like James D'Agostino of Penn State University now off course, boss. That's the end of this race for James D'Agostino.
So it's Charles Loth in the 10th slot from Clarkson, Nicholas Balta in 9th from Cornell, Yazbek from Sierra Nevada in 8th, 7th belonging to University of Michigan's Taylor Hunter in 6th, Austin Florian from Clarkson. Rounding out your top 5, Elias Stewart from Sierra Nevada College in 5th. His teammate, Andre Arneson in 4th. Another Sierra Nevada teammate, Finley Neeson in 3rd. Then it's Eric Hochbaum from Rocky Mountain in 2nd. And still your leader, the GS champion from 2 days ago here at Lake Placid. It is Rocky Mountain College's Nils Hochbaum. Meanwhile, back to live action here now across the stripe. Jack Post from St. Olaf College in 56.28. Good enough for 35th position. Now coming down the head wall from Clarkson University, it's Alexander Slimp wearing bib number 102. He'll be followed by Maine Farmington's David Berthume. Into the super flush comes Alexander Slimp from Clarkson. Oh, and he gets late. Oh, he got late. He had it. He's going to try to ski up. He had some speed. He's going to be able to make the gate now.
Look at that, a full 360-degree turn there, back in the course, skiing through the ladies' course to get back on the course, and bib number 102, Alexander Slemp of Clarkson, will receive a second run, boss.
Indeed he will. He worked for it as well, so good job for Alex Slimp. A tough break. He had a good lower section running here, and then just had too much speed out of the super flush. Was unable to navigate that last gate. Alexander Slimp with a 106.71 is his final time. Now moving on to David Berthume from the University of Maine Farmington in the final gate and across the stripe. It is David Berthume. Berthume with a 101.58. Now bib number 104 belonging to Justin Lagasse from Worcester Polytech. WPI wearing the bright orange prison jumpsuits here in the first run of the men's slalom. Justin Lagasse from WPI. Now into the final 5 gates comes Lagasse, punching his way through the sticks. And across the beam comes Justin Lagasse, pumping his fists in the air. Proud of that run at 59.60. He'll make run number 2 later on this afternoon. And as we check our schedule here, we want to see who we've got coming down next is Lagacy. Bib number 97. Check that, bib number 104. We still have several racers to come. And it looks like we have a course hold here. We expect to see Jeff Ballou, George Gettle, Sebastian Dumont, Jeremy Demers, Nathan Braun, Sean McCoy, and Chris Parisi. So the University of Maine Farmington and WPI, the Worcester Polytech Institute teams, still left to come down in run number 1.
That's right, boss. And then we'll see the ladies immediately following this race. You can see some of them right now inspecting this course. They will be running down shortly. Some exciting ladies slalom action, boss. I personally can't wait. Will it be Frida Svedberg? Can she repeat, take home the gold in both slalom and GS? Of course, a lot of other talented athletes have something to say about that, boss. Should be an exciting event.
Now back to live action here. Wearing bib number 105. We'll check our sheets here on bib number 105. And that looks like that's going to be, well, we don't have a bib number 105, so we're not sure who it is. But it does appear that it's a bright orange prison jumpsuit, so that could belong to WPI.
Looks to me like bib 107, George Gettle, boss, had some trouble there. This WPI team had been doing so well in this race so far, but check that bib number 105.
We don't have 105 on our sheet, but we know it's a WPI racer. We're going to assume that it is George Gettle. We'll get back to you on that. George Gettle from WPI could very well have been Nathan Braun or Chris Parisi as well, but Gettle is first on the sheet. So we're going to say that's George Gettle, and if it's not, we'll be corrected later on today. Meanwhile, back to live action now. Jeffrey Ballou from the University of Maine Farmington wearing bib 106. He's on course, now passed successfully through the head wall. He makes his way now into the Super Flush.
You can see this course has been holding up very well, boss. Not too much chattering under those skis. Not too many cross ruts developing. Jeffrey Ballou there doing well in this course into those final few combinations, and he has tackled it well. That's bib number 106. Jeffrey Ballou of UMaine Farmington finishes with a time of 108.59.
Well, they're listing George Gettle now from WPI in bib number 107. And that does match up our start sheet, so we are going to have to find out who bib 105 was. It could have been a mystery racer. It could have just been someone that said, I want to be in a national championship. They jacked some WPI kid up in the woods, stole the orange prison suit, and they skied down. We don't know who it is.
Absolutely, boss. A bold strategy there. Going to be tough to win the race if we don't know the name of the racer. So could be an interesting play there. Some sleight of hand by this WPI team. Has been so dominant this year.
George Gettle wearing bib number 107 from WPI awaits run number 1 from the start jack. Meanwhile, let's run down our top 10. In the 10th slot, Charles Loth from Clarkson College. He's in bib 47. Cornell University's Nicholas Balta in the 9th slot. 8th position belonging to Yaki Yazbek from Sierra Nevada College. In 7th, Taylor Hunter from the University of Michigan, the Wolverines, having a great national championships here in Lake Placid this year. In 6th, Austin Florian from Clarkson. In 5th, Elias Stewars from Sierra Nevada College. His teammate Andre Arneson in 4th. Their teammate Finlay Neeson from Sierra Nevada in 3rd. And the 2 Rocky Mountain brothers in the top 2 slots. Eric Hoogboom in the 2nd slot and Nils Hoogboom in the 1st slot with a time of 49.34. Big separation, Alex Beatty, between the Hoogboom brothers and the rest of the field. Nils with a 49.34. Baby Hoogboom, Eric Hoogboom with a 49.52, so just a couple of tenths of a second separating the 2 brothers. And then 51.16, so we're talking almost over a second and a half between the Hoogboom brothers and Finlay Neeson in Sierra Nevada College. That's a lot of time to make up in run number 2.
Absolutely, boss. It's that recessive slalom gene so prevalent in the Hoogboom family. Eric and Niels with 2 blistering fast first runs. They will have to stay consistent, put everything on the hill this afternoon if they want to take home gold and silver.
And it looks like we are back to live action now. In fact, we have gotten information that bib 105 was George Gettle from the WPI. So we did not make a mistake. Gettle was not jacked at the top of the run and his uniform stolen from him. He did successfully make it down, and he'll get a second run later on today. Now it's Sebastian Dumont from the University of Maine Farmington in bib number 108 on course. Making his way through the center section into the lower third. Soon he'll be upon the super flush. And now dropping in his teammate Jeremy Demers. And now coming into the course, Nathan Braun from WPI. 3 racers on course simultaneously. Here at the bottom, into the final super flush comes Sebastian Dumont. Dumont from the University of Maine Farmington, coached by Harry Ricker. And now into the corral comes Dumont with a time of 122.02. Next up, Jeremy Demers. Demers, also from the University of Maine Farmington, wearing bib number 109. Nathan Braun from WPI making his way over the head wall into the final half of the course. Now into the flush comes Jeremy Demers.
Jeremy Demers demurring a little bit on those last few gates. Had some trouble there, had to scrape some speed. Bib number 109 will finish with a time of 113.90.
Now it's Nathan Braun from WPI. He'll be followed by Sean McCoy from the University of Maine Farmington. And it looks like our final racer wearing bib number 112, also from WBI, it's Christopher Parisi. And now down is Nathan Braun from WPI with a time of 111.45. Sean McCoy from Maine Farmington now through the head wall.
Nathan Braun and this entire WPI squad looking fit, boss, after a week-long session of mandatory maintenance on the Sullivan's barn out in northern Massachusetts. The Sullivans running a tight ship on that WPI team, and they have put their engineering skills to the test to do some construction work for them, boss.
Indeed. Now the construction pays off to a second run for Sean McCoy from the University of Maine Farmington, 113.10 for McCoy. And now our final racer for the day in run number 1 for the men's slalom, wearing bib 112, Chris Parisi. Now Parisi is on course.
That's Chris Parisi out of WPI. They call him Sassy Cat, boss, and it's hard not to see why. Of course, majoring in B-net setting, a popular major among the WPI ski team.
Oh, as we await Chris Parisi here in run number 1, wearing bib number 112. And we can see the course workers now getting the right side of this course set up for ladies run number 1. We're going to run them back to back. We're not going to go off the air here at the USCSA Broadcast Network, so you'll have about 5 minutes to run to the refrigerator, pop one more bag of popcorn, get your last fix of the NBC Today show, and then right back here for exciting run 1 coverage for the ladies slalom here on the USCSA Broadcast Network. Our final man racer here on run number 1, Chris Parisi, wearing bib number 112.
The Sassy Cat skiing with some sass, boss, turning that entire body across the hill, an unconventional technique as he makes his way into the final set of combinations. That's Chris Parisi, Sassy Cat, now into the super flush, skiing like a champion. You can tell he wants a national championship. Bib number 112, Chris Parisi, Sassy Cat, will finish with a time of 120.15.
He is sassy, and he is successfully down after run number 1. He'll get another opportunity later on this afternoon. So that's going to do it for us here for men's run number 1. A great run here, 104 starters. We'll have to pull the final timing sheet to find out how many dropped out. It felt like we lost 25% of the field after that run, Alex Beatty.
Absolutely, boss. Such a technical set there. Very tricky, especially at the top of that head wall. You can see the course a little bit different for the ladies. They have a very turny section there. They're going to have to be careful not to lose too much speed there. Can't lose an edge on that section. Really have to make sure they can drive their body across the hill as they set up for that final section. Then a very tricky hairpin there, some combinations on a very steep part of the hill. We could see a lot of racers go down in that section, boss.
So our top 10 one more time after run number 1 for the men. It's Charles Loth from Clarkson College in 10th, Nicholas Balta from Cornell University in 9th, Yake Yazbek from Sierra Nevada in 8th. 7th slot belonging to Taylor Hunter from the University of Michigan in 6th. It's Austin Florian from Clarkson. Rounding out your top 5 from Sierra Nevada College, Elias Stewart's in the 5th slot. His teammate Andre Arneson in 4th. Another Sierra Nevada teammate in 3rd, Finlay Neeson. And then it's the Hoogbaum brothers from Rocky Mountain College. Eric Baby Hoogbaum in 2nd with a time of 49.52 and just 0.2 of a second faster is his brother, the defending national champion and the winner 2 days ago of the USCSA 2014 Giant Slalom. We'll see Nils Hoogboom see if he can hang on and catch another national championship here this afternoon in run number 2. Stay tuned. The ladies are coming up next. We're not going to leave the air, so sit back, relax. We're going to just park it for you. And Boss Hogg and Alex Beatty will be back for the women's run number 1 of their Slalom National Championship right after this. And right back here for the USCSA Women's National Championship Slalom run number 1. Boss Hogg and Alex Beatty on the mic in the broadcast center at the Olympic Broadcast Facility here at the base of the Draper's Drop, the site of the 1980 women's and men's giant slalom and slalom competitions. Glad you're joining us on the USCSA Broadcast Network as we are ready to fire up the first run of 2 for the Ladies National Championship. Just finished up the men's run number 1. Nils Hoogboom and his brother, baby Eric Hoogboom, in the top 2 slots. Certainly the times to beat in run number 2 this afternoon as we will crown a men's national championship. But now we get underway with the ladies as our forerunners now come down. Alex Beatty, we lost an enormous number of racers here in run number 1 from the men. We'll have to see if the women can navigate this track any better than the guys did earlier today.
Absolutely, boss. A much turnier set here for these racers. The men's set very technical and very tight, especially in the pitchy sections. We can see this bottom section of the ladies' course from where we're sitting right now. Very turny, fewer gates. It should be a very fast end to this course.
Looks like our final forerunner now on course. They'll be radioing information back to the top start shack just for final last-minute course adjustments. The sun now out bright and shining here on this women's slalom championship run. Course conditions in the surface very, very firm, so it's holding up well. As we can see here in the men's first set, not a lot of rutting, so definitely the track in excellent condition. A very fast surface here for the women as well. And certainly it'll be challenging as they make their way.
Absolutely, boss. And we can see some ominous gray clouds moving into view now, possibly obscuring the sun on this beautiful day here at Whiteface Mountain. Could cast shadows into the race course, make for some tricky lighting. But Samantha Bisnair from University of British Columbia, bib number 2, sitting in the start house. She will have the beautiful sunlight here. A phenomenal course, tricky set here, but totally unskied off, no rut developing, and she is on course now. Samantha Bisnair, the Canadian Studies major out of British Columbia.
Coach Jerry Wolf from the Rocky Mountain College, the course setter here for the first run for the ladies. Our technical delegate, Tony Nunnenkoven. Our referee, Christopher Eder, and Paul Van Slyke, our chief of race here for the first run of the ladies slalom. Into live action now. Down the head wall comes Samantha Bisnair from the University of British Columbia. And Bisnair skiing very well here. Great left to right action and edges on the skis as the body stays pointed down on the fall line and across the stripe. It's Samantha Bisnair with a time to beat of 49.47. So a good run for Bisnair. Always tricky to be the first one out of the box, Alex.
Absolutely, boss. Samantha Bisnair, the fastest skier so far from British Columbia, finished last year at the Slalom Championships, this same event, finished 14th. So hoping to have a solid finish today as well.
Now it's Hillary Coates. Coates from Syracuse University wearing bib number 3. Second fastest at the split shack now across the stripe in 52.01. So a couple of seconds behind Bisnair. Jenna Richardson from Loyola Marymount University in bib number 4. She's now on course, making her way across the head wall into the final section and the final steep pitch of this run for the ladies. Jessica Richardson from Loyola Marymount University in bib number 4. Check that, that's Jenna Richardson. Jenna was third fastest at the split shack now. Definitely lost some speed here through the steep section, just trying to get down. As you can see, a very different set for the ladies here at the bottom of this course, Alex. The men had the super flush about 8 gates from the bottom. Looks like they spread things out here for the ladies.
That's right, boss. A very turny section. The last 10 gates of this course, just back and forth from right to left. The legs exhausted, struggling to set those edges into the bottom. But Jenna Richardson tackles it like a pro. Bib number 4 from Loyola Marymount finished with a time of 1:28.88.
Now here comes Hannah Sadik from Northeastern University, the fastest time at the first split jack. Sadik with a great GS run 3 days ago here at Whiteface Mountain. Now a little late, but trying to get back on course. And indeed she has. Good left to right swinging action on the hips from Hannah Sadik. Sadik, a slalom master, and Sadik pulling across into the finish corral with the fastest time of 49.10. So a good run for Hannah Sadik from Northeastern.
Hannah Sadik has been lightning in a bottle for this Northeastern University team. Of course, fiance of recently beatified Saint Rob Visconti. This Northeastern team is looking strong.
Now it is Amanda Engelhardt from Brown University. Brown always fielding a very competitive team here at Nationals, and now with an incredible time, Amanda Engelhardt of 47.79. Good enough for first place for Amanda Engelhardt. It looked like she was having a great run, Alex, and in fact the time certainly shows that as she is atop the leaderboard. Almost 2 seconds ahead of Hannah Sadik from Northeastern. Back to live action, 3 gates to go. Now across the stripe, it's Casey Ryder from the University of Massachusetts with a 50.55. And now onto the head wall comes Mayu Nakamura, the Yote from the College of Idaho. Caldwell's finest, Mayu Nakamura, and that's going to be a tough break. Will she be able to hike that gate? It looks like she's going to, so a hike for Nakamura. Now she'll have to put back on the legs, even though they're shaky. Nakamura now into the final 8 gates.
It's like those skis bent a little too much there for Mayu Nakamura, throwing her out of the course. She's back into it, picking up a lot of speed there near the bottom. Bib number 8, Mayu Nakamura of the College of Idaho, finished with a time of 1:01.36.
Now Brenna Murray. Murray on course from the University of Wisconsin in Madison. She'll be followed by Hobart William Smith College's Jessica Bishop, and into the finish corral comes Brenna Murray with a time of 49.80, good enough for 4th place.
You can see her exhaustion there, boss. This course really challenging for the endurance of these athletes. Just those legs absolutely exhausted. And Jessica Bishop from Hobart and William Smith having a wild ride there, boss. She gets into the backseat a little bit now as she will cross the finish line with a great time. Bib number 10, Jessica Bishop of Hobart and William Smith with a 51.51. Good enough for 6th place.
Now it is a speed demon from Rocky Mountain College, Frida Svedberg, the GS champion 3 days ago here at Whiteface Mountain. She wants to try to double up. 5 gates to go for Svedberg. She is skiing well. And Svedberg across in a 48.63, good enough for the lead over Amanda Engelhardt. Almost a second, 1.2 seconds faster than Engelhardt. So Frida Svedberg has picked up right where she left off in the ladies' GS, Alex.
Absolutely, boss. No surprises there from Frida Svedberg, the Western Conference slalom champion. You could just see the control there as she kept those skis together. Beautiful skiing there on those last few gates, and that is the reason she's sitting in first right now.
Svedberg with a year off of skiing last year, now just back, and boy, she has certainly shown the other ladies how it works here in the national championships with a commanding performance in the GS, and now back to throw down the fastest time in run number 1 for the slalom. Meanwhile, back to live action, Castleton College's Simona Kricola with a 52.74. She'll be followed by Lafayette College's Margaret Del Cole. Now Del Cole with 8 gates to go, and Stina Solander from Sierra Nevada College. She is on course coming over the head wall. Here at the bottom, though, it's Margaret Del Cole from Lafayette College across in 53.90, good enough for 10th place. Sierra Nevada College's Stina Solander wearing bib number 14 with 10 gates to go here, making her way down the head wall into the final part of this course. Definitely an easier set here for the ladies in run number 1. The men had a real snake to have to deal with, especially with the legs completely exhausted, full of lactic acid, burning, nuclear at the bottom, and then a super flush they had to navigate. Made it real tough as they came down the head wall. The ladies having a little bit easier time. It looks like Heather Durr now from Penn State University wearing bib 15. Heather Durr, great to see her back here, the Nittany Lion at the National Championships. She made it to Sun Valley last year after an incredibly difficult injury recovery last year. It was just a miracle that she made the race in Sun Valley. It's great to see her back now competitive for the Nittany Lions here at the 2014 USCSA National Championships. 8 gates to go for Durr now. Heather Durr from Penn State University. And here comes Durr as the course workers now trying to clean this course up in between racers. And Durr across the stripe into the finish corral with a time of 1:22.66. So Heather had some tough times high above the course, but she will earn run number 2 later on this afternoon.
Absolutely, boss. The reason we saw those course workers out there is that Stina Solander of Sierra Nevada College ripped the top of one of those gates out of the course. She finished with a very fast 47.09, sitting in second right now, boss.
And here's a good run from Sarah Schaefer. Clarkson University Sarah Schaefer down in 51.04, good enough for 8th position. She'll be followed by Annalicia Honkanen from Northern Michigan University wearing bib number 17. NMU well represented here today as Annalicia Honkanen with the two-toned hot pink Kelman and the green speed suit from Northern Michigan University wearing bib number 17 into the final gate, and across the stripe comes Honkanen with a time of 52.60. Now coming over the head wall into the final half, it's Katie Olvstead from St. Olaf College wearing bib number 18. This isn't Olvsted's first rodeo. She was back in Sun Valley last year at national championships, throwing down 2 good runs in the slalom competition. Now Katie Olvstead, 5th fastest at the split shack with 2 gates to go. And now Olvstead into the finish corral with a time of 49.90. A good run for Olvstead. That'll be good enough for 7th place. So let's go down your top 10 quickly. In 10th, Hobart Williams Smith is Jessica Bishop. In 9th, Sarah Schaefer from Clarkson. The 8th slot belonging to Casey Ryder from the University of Massachusetts. Katie Olvstead from St. Olaf in 7th. And in 6th, Brenna Murray from Wisconsin-Madison. Rounding out your top 5 from the University of British Columbia in 5th, Samantha Bisnair. In 4th, Northeastern's Hannah Sadik. In 3rd, Amanda Engelhardt from Brown University. Sierra Nevada's Stina Solander in 2nd, but still your leader. From Rocky Mountain College, it's Frida Svedberg. Now back to live action. 4 gates to go for Kinsey Dignas from Cornell University. Dignas, 5th fastest after the intermediate split. She crosses the stripe in a 50.88, good enough for 9th place. So she had a tough time in the second half of the run, but she'll earn run number 2 later on today. Meanwhile, Claire Menzel, bib number 20. Menzel has skied off course. Tough break for Claire Menzel. That's going to be the end of her slalom day here. Now CSUS's Caitlin Porter wearing bib number 21 on course. She'll be followed by Marliese Combe.
Saw a great run there from Kenzie Dignas, the freshman out of Cornell University, the New York region slalom champion. This Cornell team has been skiing well all week, and the ladies of the Cornell team definitely want to take home a slalom championship today.
Caitlin Porter from California State University, Sacramento, wearing bib 21. She was 15th fastest at the split shack. Now got late here as she made her way out of the head wall into the final 8 gates, now trying to get back into the rhythm. It is tough to get back into the rhythm once you lose it, though. Legs are burning, out of breath, just looking for the finish line, and indeed she finds it. That's Caitlin Porter from California State University, Sacramento, finishing at 59.51, good enough for 16th slot.
Looks like Marliese Combe from the University of Rochester had a little bit of trouble there, boss. She has been, I believe, overtaken by bib number 24 from the University of Michigan, Abigail Ellis. Now 24 from Michigan, Ellis leading the charge down this hill. It's a steeplechase here as Marliese Combe struggling to catch up. And oh, disaster there for Combe and Ellis. Combe is off the course. She's lost the ski. That'll be the end of her day. Ellis now back on course. She hiked a little bit and will make her way towards the finish line now.
Indeed, she earned run number 2. That is Abigail Ellis from the University of Michigan. And a tough break for Marliese Combe wearing bib 23. That's going to be the end of her day. Now from Colorado Mesa University, that's Sarah Gregory. Sarah Gregory across in 51.15, good enough for 11th position. Kayla Weber from the University of Colorado wearing bib number 26. Weber now out of the box. And it looks like Weber Weber will be making her way across the head wall. Now into the final half of this run comes Kayla Weber from the University of Colorado.
Kayla Weber, the senior out of University of Colorado, a skiing veteran here, and she knows how to ski a slalom course, majoring in bowling industry management, is bib number 26, Kayla Weber, skiing fast now into the final section, boss.
5 gates to go for Weber. Now Weber on a wild ride here at the bottom of the run, and Weber survives into the corral with a time of 51.93. On course, bib 27 from Rocky Mountain College. Here comes Eloise Julian. Julian, a very strong performance in the GS 3 days ago, and she is skiing well here in run number 1 of the ladies' final. 5 gates to go for Julian from Rocky Mountain College. And Eloise Julian across in a time of 48.00, good enough for 4th place. So Rocky Mountain's Frida Svedberg joined by teammate Eloise Julian in the top 5. Rocky Mountain setting up to be the team to beat here early in run number 1.
Absolutely, boss. And last year's champion, Eloise Julian, champion in the slalom at Sun Valley. She'll have to pour it on in the second run if she wants to catch her teammate, Frida Svedberg, boss.
Now with 3 gates to go, it's Northern Michigan University's Mallory Slicker. Slicker wearing bib 28, poling across the stripe with a time of 55.08, good enough for 19th position. Meanwhile, back to live action, Castleton College's Allie Spencer on course, 10th fastest after the first split shack. Now she's made her way through the tough, steep part of this head wall. Into the final 6 gates comes Allie Spencer. Castleton College's Allie Spencer now across the finish line in a time of 51.07. Good enough for 12th position for Allie Spencer.
Time is what you need.
Now here's bib number 30, Kelsey Dignas out of Syracuse, skiing in that Syracuse orange as she makes her way down the course. Riding well now, the skis turning in parallel across the hill. She's carving into these last few turns. She will cross the finish line with an epic tuck there. Bib number 30, Kelsey Dignas of Syracuse, finishes with a time of 53.20.
So it is still Frida Svedberg from Rocky Mountain, your leader, followed by Solander, Engelhardt, Julian, Sadik, Bisnair, Murray, Olvstead, Ryder, and rounding out your top 10, it's Kenzie Dignas from Cornell. Meanwhile, here at the finish line, Taylor Manderson from Clarkson College, 51.01, good enough for 11th fastest in run number 1. Now it's Cornell University's Ashby Sussman wearing bib number 32. She was 21st fastest after the first split shack. She'll have to pour it on here in the bottom. A small flush halfway through as you can see them come down here on the skier's left. 5 gates to go for Sussman. Sussman from Cornell University. And Sussman will earn her run number 2 later on today with a time of 56.21.
Ashby Sussman, the senior out of Cornell from Fairfield, Connecticut, almost lost the ski up there, boss, on those very tight gates, very steep section of this course. At the top of the section, we can see here from this bottom vantage point we have, her leg almost shattered that ski right off. You can see some ruts definitely developing, and trying to avoid them desperately is Ebru Altuer of Loyola Marymount. She has taken a very wide line there. She is back in course, and it looks like that'll be the end of her day for Ebru Altuner of Loyola Marymount. She has skied out completely, boss.
Tough break for Altuner. Now it's Rebecca Friends from the University of Wisconsin-Madison wearing bib number 34. Friends will be coming into view momentarily here.
And there she is now, boss, Wisconsin-Madison's Rebecca Friends, bib number 34, as she makes her way into the steep section of this course. Very turny here. These racers will have to stay early, and she gets a little bit late there, has to scrub some speed. Now she goes entering the hairpin turn, handles it well, boss, as she makes her way into the final few gates. That's Rebecca Friends, skiing fast for Wisconsin-Madison, carving like a champion here as she cross-blocks these gates. They dart away from her. Bib number 34, Rebecca Friends of University of Wisconsin-Madison, finishes with a time of 56.33. Good enough for 24th right now, boss.
Now it's Taya Palick from Sierra Nevada College. Taya Palick not racing in the women's GS earlier this week, saving it all for this run. This is her best event. It's Taya Palick from Sierra Nevada College, and a great run from Palick as Palick crossing the stripe in a 48.71, good enough for 5th place. So Taya Palick, the Eagle from Incline Village, safely in run number 1 and will be competitive here in the second run today for a podium.
Absolutely, boss. Of course, Coach Branko Zagar gave 9 rings of power to the Sierra Nevada ski team and forged a master ring for himself in the fires of Mount Doom, leading them to so many ski racing championships, boss.
Across the stripe from University of Massachusetts, it's Claire Hamnett. Hamnett with a 53.51, good enough for 22nd slot. Now Emily Visnick wearing bib 37 from Northeastern University, making her way down the head wall into the final 10 gates comes Visnick. Visnick will be followed by Natalie Pearl from Brown. Pearl's got a good run going up high. Meanwhile, lower here at the finish corral and across the stripe comes Emily Visnick from Northeastern University with a time of 54.54.
Visnick and Sidek, her teammate, hoping to reply all with a strong run here this afternoon. They'll need to compete very well, boss.
Natalie Pearl was 4th fastest at the intermediate split shack. She's got a good run going here. We was late here in the last 5 gates, but was able to recover. And across the stripe with a time of 48.62 is Natalie Pearl. Pearl good enough for 5th slot. So it's still Svedberg, Solander, Engelhardt, Julian, Pearl, Palick, Sadik, Bisnair, Murray, and Olvstead rounding out your top 10 here in run number 1 of the Women's National Champion Slalom Final.
Brown skiing very well, boss. They definitely want to stand atop that podium after a disappointing 4th place finish last year in this slalom event.
4 gates to go here for Rebecca Calgren. Hobart William Smith's Rebecca Calgren, the daughter of the founder of the Jean-Claude Quillet-Bolle sunglasses that Boss Hog rocks every single year in Park City. And Calgren across in 58.51. Nina Herner, the Yote from the College of Idaho, wearing bib number 41, now on course, making her way across the top of the head wall into the lower third. It's Nina Herner. Caldwell, Idaho's finest, Nina Herner, coached by Ron Bonneau out in Idaho, a beautiful college campus there in Caldwell. Great to see them fielding such a spectacular team, both ladies and men's, here at the 2014 National Championships. And Nina Herner from the College of Idaho, across in a time of 118.24. So Herner had a tough time at the top of the run, but was able to collect, regroup, make it down the steep head wall here at the Olympic run from the 1980 Winter Games, and she will earn run number 2 later on today. Back to live action, University of British Columbia's Sandra Gerlich now coming down the head wall. She'll be followed by St. Olaf College's Megan Danielski, and Allison Kowalski from Penn State University awaits her first run from the start shack. 8 gates to go for Sandra Gerlich, 14th fastest at the intermediate split shack. Now 3 gates to go, driving to the finish and into the tuck comes Sandra Gerlich. Gerlich from the University of British Columbia, across in a time of 50.95, good enough for 13th position.
Strong second half of that run for Sandra Gerlich, the Canadian Studies major out of University of British Columbia. She really dialed it in there, had some very fast turns in that bottom section, a very aggressive line, and she's rewarded with a fantastic time.
Now on course, bib number 45, Megan Danielski. Danielski from St. Olaf College, across the stripe in 51.98.
You can see Danielski very pleased with that run, boss. She threw her arms in the air across the finish line. Of course, St. Olaf, always a team to watch here in this competition, finished 3rd last year in this slalom event. They are hoping for another shot at the podium this year.
As we have a short course hold here in run number 1 for the Women's Slalom National Championship, we want to make an announcement that all individual competitors and 4-way competitors can compete in the dual slalom tomorrow here at the race course. It isn't just for the teams that qualified. All of the individual competitors and 4-way competitors can compete in the dual slalom tomorrow. The seed meeting is later on tonight at the conference center immediately following the awards. So make sure, if you are interested in participating in what has to be one of the most exciting national championship events we have here each and every year, Alex Beatty, that's the dual panel slalom. We'll bring it to you live here tomorrow starting at 9 a.m. on the USCSA Broadcast Network.
Absolutely, boss. And I've talked to a lot of these athletes throughout the week, and they have consistently been telling me that the dual panel slalom is just their favorite event. They love the way it brings out the team aspect of skiing and just the speed that is generated in that event, the thrill of that head-to-head competition. It's really incredible to watch.
We bring them down two at a time, right next to each other. Then we switch them up on the course and let them try it again. Fantastic and exciting action here. It'll all be for your viewing enjoyment beginning at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Back to live action here in run number 1. Penn State University's Allison Kowalski. Kowalski now polling into the finish corral with a time of 56.85. Christina Donnelly from the University of British Columbia wearing bib number 46. She's on course now, making her way down the head wall. She'll be followed by Tommy Chipman from Penn State University wearing bib number 48. 8 gates to go here for Christina Donnelly. Bib number 46 for Donnelly. Donnelly now across the stripe with a time of 53.41. Tommy Chipman across the head wall, now into the steep pitch. Right after that steep pitch, you can see they throw a 4-gate flush. Right here, Chipman now in the flush. She makes it. Just a 3-gate flush there. Check that, a 2-gate flush there. Boss is losing his eyesight. And now into the final 5 gates comes Tommy Chipman from Penn State University. The Nittany Lion across in 59.20, good enough for 34th position. Paige Doolin from Northern Michigan University, bib 49, now on course. Successfully navigates the head wall into the flush. She'll be followed by Frederica Helm from Rocky Mountain College.
Well, you know, boss, that confusion there about that hairpin turn is just a testament to just how high this course is set above where we're at. Just such a steep vertical drop there. These racers are really being put through their paces.
Here's a good run from Frederica Helm. Helm was 11th fastest at the first split shack, but looks like she's definitely picked up some speed here at the bottom. A little late with 10 gates to go, but now back into rhythm, letting the skis do the work, trying to drive to the finish line, and does. And across the stripe in 50.66, good enough for 12th place. Blair Hooper from Castleton College wearing bib number 51, now on course. She'll be followed by Hobart William Smith's Gabrielle Van Brodsky. And Sierra Nevada College's Melissa Daniels awaits her first run from the start shack. 5 gates to go here for Castleton College's Blair Hooper. Now Hooper across the stripe with a time of 52.49. That's good enough for 23rd place for Blair Hooper.
Just want to get you caught up on bib number 49, Paige Doolin's time out of Northern Michigan University. She threw down a solid run and finished with a 58.76. This Northern Michigan team skiing well all week. Great to see so many Michigan schools represented here. As Hobart and William Smith's Gabrielle Von Bradsky's struggles there in that steep section, having to take a wide line. Those very steeps there, that icy conditions that have developed have forced her out, taking a more conservative approach, and she is skiing well into these final few gates now. That's Gabrielle Von Bradsky, bib number 53, will cross the finish line with a time of 110.69.
Now we see Melissa Daniels from Sierra Nevada College, 11th fastest at the intermediate split shack, wearing bib number 54 with 8 gates to go. Here comes Melissa Daniels. Coached by Bronco Zagar, always fielding a great women's team here at Nationals. No exception this year in 2014 as Sierra Nevada College's Melissa Daniels crosses the stripe in a 49.15, good enough for 8th place.
Melissa Daniels really picked it up in the second half of that course, boss, and no surprises there. A speed specialist. Last year finished second in this event, so some great technique as well. Olivia Radecki of University of Wisconsin-Madison now on course wearing bib number 55.
5 gates to go for Radke from Wisconsin-Madison. Now Radke across in a time of 102.08. Emma LeBlanc from Brown University wearing bib number 56 now on course. 20th fastest after the split shack. Now 8 gates to go for LeBlanc here at the bottom. LeBlanc trying to catch up and now into the finish corral with a time of 51.97. So Brown University's Emma LeBlanc. She'll earn run number 2 later on this afternoon. UMass at Amherst, Lindsay Tadero on course. Bib number 57. She is 36th fastest, so had a tough time here at the top of the course. You'll see if she can pick up some speed here with the last 12 gates. She'll be followed by the College of Idaho's Eleanor Tansley. 4 gates to go here for Lindsay Tadero from the University of Massachusetts in Amherst, and Tadero across in a 56.48.
Now on course is bib number 58, Eleanor Tansley from the College of Idaho. Handles that set of hairpin turns well, almost getting thrown there out of the course, but she recovers now, skiing strong into the last 5 gates of this course. That's Eleanor Tansley, bib number 58 from the College of Idaho. She will cross the finish line with a time of 58.14 for bib number 58.
Now it's Jessie Evans, bib 60 from Cornell University. She'll be followed by Kara Van Herwaarde. Kara Van Herwaarde. Jessie Evans, 42nd fastest at the split check, now across the stripe with a time of 56.14. That's good enough for 34th, so she picked it up here in the bottom section. Kara Van Herwaarde from Clarkson for bib number 61.
The Clarkson Knights hoping to rebound from a disappointing 10th place finish last year in the ladies slalom. And Kara Van Herwaarde of Clarkson having a great run here. She is skiing very well into this bottom section now. Handles the steeps well. She is carving towards this hairpin turn. Very tricky combination there set for these athletes in a steep section. Now we can see the bottom of her skis as she is carving into the bottom. Almost gets a little bit late there. Has to scrub some speed. Bib number 61, Kara Van Herwaarde of Clarkson crosses the finish line with a first run time of 1:16.77.
Madison McLaughlin now from St. Olaf College wearing bib 62, 23rd fastest after the first split jack. Makes her way across the head wall now into the lower pitch. McLaughlin trying to keep that skis pointing in the right direction and scoring a good run here in run number 1. She wants to make the flip, 23rd fastest at the shack. We'll see if she can hold on here. 3 gates to go for Madison McLaughlin, and McLaughlin across the stripe with a time of 1:02.80. Good enough for 47th position.
Saw Maddie McLaughlin lose a lot of speed there, boss, in the second half of that course. She struggled on the steeps, and she's hoping for redemption in her second run.
Now it's Lindsay Wright from Northeastern University. She's followed by Kirsten Weiss from Syracuse. 5 gates to go for Wright, wearing bib 63. She was 42nd fastest at the split jack and ends up 45th at a 101.36 here at the bottom. So Lindsay Wright, Northeastern University, she'll be back for run number 2 later on today. Meanwhile, back to live action. Syracuse University's Kirsten Weiss wearing bib number 64, 3 gates to go, and now punching the stripe with a time of 101. Check that, 53.90 for Kirsten White. That's Kirsten Weiss from Syracuse University.
Now here's Emily Lamoureux of Sierra Nevada College having a very fast run, boss. 4th in the giant slalom 3 days ago. She is skiing well here, and she will cross the finish line. That's Sierra Nevada College Eagle Emily Lamoureux, bib number 66, finishing with a time of 50.36.
And it looks like we lost Kate Rayer, bib number 67. Rayer was on course and had to ski out high above our position here at the base of the mountain.
Tough break there for Wisconsin-Madison, boss. They were counting on a strong run from Katie Rayer. She is off course. We've lost only 4 racers in this run, so as you can see, not the technical set that we saw for the men, where we lost so many of these athletes, so much attrition there, but these ladies have really been solid and consistent. They are holding up well, boss, and we'll see most of them back this afternoon.
Have a quick announcement here for disqualifications on the men's first run. Bib 23 from the College of Idaho, Zach Schenk. Bib 26 from the University of Colorado, Jackson Vlay. Bib number 65 from Northeastern University, Adam Sapers. And bib number 105 from WPI, George Gettel. Those are the DQs from run number 1 for the men. Make sure you make your way up here to our timing check if you have anything to say about that. And now back to live action is Mallory Kelly from Rocky Mountain College across with a 53.84. Lindsay Maugrey from the University of Massachusetts wearing bib 69 had a good ride going down the head wall until she had to ski to the far skier's left side. She's going to try to hike back up now. She's going to have to do it quick, though.
Long way to go there, boss. She gets tangled up by a gate. It's a steeplechase here.
That's going to be it for her. She skied out, and the right thing to do, a tough break for Lindsay Maugrey. Castleton College's Lisa Davis, bib number 71, now making her way driving to the finish line. Here comes Lisa Davis from Castleton College, and across the stripe with a time of 54.04 for Lisa Davis in bib 71. Now Natalie Kinney from St. Olaf College. Down the head wall she comes. She'll be followed by Hillary Deagle from Penn State University. 10 gates to go for Natalie Kinney. St. Olaf College's Natalie Kinney now. Oh, and a wild ride for Kinney. Kinney's been able to bring it back together. Great core strength by Natalie Kinney. That was a Bodie run with 5 gates to go. And Natalie Kinney, she'll earn run number 2 from St. Olaf College with a time of 54.61. She sucked it right back in there, didn't she?
Absolutely, boss. After a little mistake there, about 5 gates from the bottom, she kept it together and finished with an almost perfect run. Hillary Deagle now of Penn State having some trouble. She is riding widely here. Now skiing well back into the bottom section, but she has lost a lot of speed. Struggling here to maintain an aggressive line. You can see the course beginning to deteriorate a little bit. Some snowy conditions making it tricky for some of these athletes, boss.
Into the finish corral comes Hillary Deagle from Penn State University, the Nittany Lion with a time of 104.44. Allie Ganesh wearing bib 76 from Brown University, 14th fastest after the first intermediate split jack. She's got a good run going into the tuck and across the stripe with a 52.69. That's good enough for 27th place. Allie Ganesh, she'll have to sit and wait and see if that'll make the flip or not. Abigail Brown, bib 77 from Cornell University, now on course. Through the head wall and 12 gates to go for Brown. She'll be followed by Northeastern University's Allison Anastas, wearing bib 78. And now Northern Michigan University's Caitlin Bonnet awaits run 1 from the top. Meanwhile, here at the bottom across the stripe, it's Abigail Brown from Cornell University with a time of 55.22. Good enough for 40th position. Allison Anastas from Northeastern, bib 78, now over the head wall into the final steep pitch on this big run for the Women's National Slalom Championship.
Of course, Allison Anastas receiving skiing instructions broadcast into her helmet by Rob Visconti. Skiing well now into this bottom section. With a little bit of trepidation there as this course has deteriorated this afternoon. Allison Anastas of Northeastern making her way towards the finish line now. That's bib number 78 across the finish line with a time of 104.46.
Caitlin Bonnet from Northern Michigan University, bib 79, now making her way down the head wall. She'll be followed by Casey Benner from the College of Idaho. Christina DiPietro from Syracuse awaits run 1 from the start shack. Live action here at the bottom with 10 gates to go. Caitlin Bonnet from Northern Michigan University punching her way and driving towards the finish line, just trying to hang on here. The legs are certainly burning by this point. And although, Alex Beatty, the times of these runs, just around a minute, you know, we're looking at a minute runs here, which are standard time for ladies slalom, but it's the pitch here is just unbelievable. They are smoking at the bottom. Certainly all of the energy that they have is being used just to get down that head wall, and then you still have 8 or 10 gates to go once you've made it. Casey Benner from the College of Idaho with a time of 57.47, good enough for 46th position.
Absolutely, boss. And just when you get into a rhythm there on that pitch, they throw in some tricky combinations there, a hairpin, just to put these athletes through their paces. Christina DiPietro of Syracuse handles it well. She is now skiing into the bottom section, only 5 gates to go. Gets a little bit backseat there, has to lose a lot of speed. That's going to slow her down, boss. She'll cross the finish line now. Bib number 81, Christina DiPietro of Syracuse, finishes with a time of 102.36.
University of British Columbia's Kayla Johnston wearing bib number 82. Now on course, Sierra Spring dropping in from the start shack in Clarkson University. 5 gates to go here and very late. Yeah, very, very late for Kayla Johnston from British Columbia.
You can see the problems for her started about 2 gates above that fall, boss. She got in the back seat there, and it cost her. Just couldn't keep up with those turns, but she will finish. Bib number 82, Kayla Johnston of British Columbia, finishes with a time of 102.85, and we'll see her this afternoon.
Now driving with the poles left to right comes Sierra Spring from Clarkson. Getting shot out of that gate after the flush just a little bit, is able to recover using good core strength, letting the skis try to do the work, keeping the body down the fall line, pointing to the finish and driving to the line. It is Sierra Spring from Clarkson with a time of 102.48.
You know, boss, she made a mistake there after that hairpin, but you can see perfect form, just great upper body, lower body separation in the bottom of that course, and she finished very strong.
Hanging on is Isabel Cooperstein from the University of Wisconsin in Madison. And that's going to be the end of her day.
Tough break there, boss, as she hooks a tip on that blue gate about 6 gates from the bottom of this course. Lost a ski. That equipment loss, that'll mean the end of her day. So farewell to Isabella Cooperstein, boss.
Back to live action down the head wall comes Gabrielle St. Pierre from the University of Massachusetts. She'll be followed by Northern Michigan's Kelsey Young. 8 gates to go now for St. Pierre. Wearing bib number 85, 105 contestants to run here in run number 1. She got very late here, but she's been able to get it back together, and she will earn run number 2. That is Gabrielle St. Pierre from the University of Massachusetts with a time of 107.95. Kelsey Young from Northern Michigan into the final 10 gates. She'll be followed by Castleton College's Kelsey O'Rourke. 5 gates to go for Young. Now Young into the corral with a time of 59.88. So breaking the 1 minute mark is Kelsey Young, good enough for 52nd position. On the head wall, it's Kelsey O'Rourke from Castleton College. Now into the flush comes O'Rourke. Ashley Yovian from Clarkson, wearing bib number 90 now on course. We've had great surface conditions. Alex Beatty, that's going to be the end of the day for Kelly O'Rourke. She just got shot out with 4 gates to go. How disappointing for O'Rourke. She had a good run going. Just 5 gates from the bottom, but just lost the edge. It shot her right out to the skiers left, and a tough break.
Definitely a problem section there, boss, as we see Ashley Yovian of Clarkson now entering that section, skiing for the Clarkson Knights. Ashley Yovian grew up skiing here at Whiteface. You can see it there. She knows this terrain well. It's bib number 90, finishes with a time of 56.26.
Hillary Sapp now on course, bib 91 from the College of Idaho. She'll be followed by Anna Rosenblum from Syracuse, and now at the top it is Marie Nuici from Sierra Nevada College. And Cooperstein, Isabella Cooperstein with bib number 84. Looks like she has skied out. That's going to be the end of her day.
You can see the steeps there sapping the strength of College of Idaho's Hillary Sapp as she makes her way into the final few gates. Now skiing well, a green and purple blur is bib number 91. Hillary Sapp. She'll finish with a time of 67.07.
Now down the head wall comes Anna Rosenblum from Syracuse University, wearing bib 92. She was 61st fastest after the split shack, trying to get some more speed here at the bottom, but doesn't want to go too fast. I mean, if you don't get run number 1 in, Alex Beatty, there is no afternoon session, and these ladies know it. Anna Rosenblum from Syracuse across in 104.44. Now at Sierra Nevada College's Marie Nuici. Nuici with a great GS run 3 days ago here at Whiteface, skiing in the green, optic green pants. Actually, it's the green, the blockers that they're using so they don't kill their shins. And Nuici across with a time of 49.23. And way back in the pack comes Marie Nuici from Sierra Nevada, posting a top 10 first run time.
Absolutely, boss. Consistent play by the Sierra Nevada team. It looks like Rocky Mountain College's Malin Erickson now has been tripped up at the steeps of this final section of the run. She is off course, and a tough break there for Rocky Mountain College, boss.
McKenna McNabb had a great GS run 3 days ago from St. Olaf College, wearing bib number 96, makes her way over the head wall. Now into the final third comes McKenna McNabb, skiing well. Here comes the flush for McNabb. Now the hairpin. McNabb Successfully routed it, shot her out of the hairpin, but she's back on course. Now 8 gates to go for McNabb. She was 11th fastest at the split shack. She wants a top 10. Will it be enough for McNabb? Here she comes. No, slower in the bottom half. 51.04 for McNabb, good enough for 19th place.
You could see, boss, she knew she made a mistake there. McKenna McNabb pole whacking into the finish corral. A tough break there for McNabb, but she still finished solid, and we'll see her this afternoon.
Now we'll see Eugenia Cronenberg from Brown University. Eugenia Cronenberg into the corral with a time of 53.17, so just above the bubble break for Eugenia Cronenberg, 32nd fastest here at Run 1. She'll be back this afternoon. Back to live action from Northeastern University, it's Annie Muskie. Muskie wearing bib number 98. She'll be followed by Penn State University's Rebecca Wong. Muskie having to scrape a lot of speed down the head wall, especially after the flush, now trying to get it going once again. Tough to do here in a slalom, especially with a tight set for these ladies. And Northeastern's Annie Muskie across the stripe in 103.63. Rebecca Wong, the Nittany Lion from Penn State, wearing bib number 100. On course, she'll be followed by Cornell University's Megan Joyce. And now dropping in from the top, it is Worcester Polytech's Paulina Carabellis.
Now Rebecca Wong making her way towards the finish line, boss. Skiing well here with a double pole plant across the finish line. Bib number 100, Rebecca Wong of Penn State, finished with a time of 104.84. Now Megan Joyce of Cornell making her way towards the finish line.
She'll be followed by Paulina Carabellis, and now dropping in Maggie Corrigan from Worcester Polytech. She's on course.
Looks like Paulina Carabellis having some trouble in the second half of this course, boss. Bib 103 is down. She's lost the ski. You can see her dragging herself to the side of the course now to make way for teammate Maggie Corrigan. Bib 104, the senior captain of this WPI team, Maggie Corrigan, driving hard into this bottom section. Great to see the Thompson division of the USCSA so well represented here at these national championships. And Maggie Corrigan now into this bottom section of the course. Handles those hairpins well, boss. Some great technique there. She struggles to drive across this steep section here. Now 3 gates to go for Corrigan. Now she will cross the finish line. That's bib number 104, Maggie Corrigan of WPI, finished with a time of 58.31. Mina Kayami, bib 105, now on course for WPI. Of course, this WPI team skiing under the tutelage of Mark Sullivan, their mascot Bombardier the dog, always a fixture at the Thompson Division ski races. Just a beautiful animal. You could always see it tugging a WPI skier, an unfortunate dog watcher throughout the race arena, as bib number 105, Mina Kayami of WPI, finishes with a time of 105.60.
Lindsey Wilson, also from WPI, now coming over the head wall into the final section right before the 2-gate flush here. Worcester Polytech's Lindsey Wilson, bib 106 now on course. Into the final 8 gates comes Wilson.
See some solid turns there from Lindsey Wilson, bib number 106. She'll finish with a time of 106.85. Now in the start shack, surveying the field of red and blue plastic gates below her is bib 107, Annie McLaughlin of WPI. Now she is on the course, skiing well in the upper section. That's Annie McLaughlin, majoring in course slipping at WPI.
McLaughlin, our final lady racer here for run number 1 as the skies start to gray up here in Lake Placid. Whiteface Mountain, the home of all of our alpine competitions here. We'll bring you live coverage of the second run of both the men's slalom and the women's slalom later on this afternoon on the USCSA Broadcast Network. And here at the top of the head wall comes our final racer in the ladies' first run slalom. It's Annie McLaughlin from WPI. Looks
like she had to check her speed a little bit there, boss. And McLaughlin Bib 107 carrying a little too much speed into that top section. She slowed it down a little bit to maintain control, having some trouble there with that hairpin turn. Now 10 gates to go for Ann McLaughlin of WPI. Almost loses it there, but she keeps control. See her carving now into the bottom few gates. She'll set up for her tuck soon. That's Ann McLaughlin of WPI. Bib 107 pole plants across the finish line with a time of 1:16.74. So, boss, that'll do it for the ladies this morning.
Indeed it will. We'll be back with the second run and crown a national champion here for the ladies and the men coming up later on this afternoon. We'll make sure that you tune in for that at the USCSA Broadcast Network. Let's run down our top 10 here from run number 1 from the ladies slalom. In the 10th slot from the University of British Columbia, it's Samantha Bisnair. In 9th, Sierra Nevada College's Marie Nuichi. In 8th, her teammate Melissa Daniels. In the 7th slot, it's Northeastern University's Hannah Sadik. Taya Palick from Sierra Nevada College in the 6th slot. Rounding out your top 5 from Brown University, it's Natalie Pearl in 5th. Eloise Julianne, last year's defending champion from Rocky Mountain College in 4th. Then Amanda Engelhardt from Brown in 3rd. It's Stina Solander from Sierra Nevada College in the 2nd position. But again, the lady to beat today in run number 1 with a blistering time of 46.63. Almost a second and a half faster than Stina Solander is Rocky Mountain College's Frida Svedberg. So Svedberg, Solander, Engelhardt, Julian, and Pearl, they'll battle it out here this afternoon in run number 2 for the ladies. We'll bring you live coverage of both the men's and the women's second run of the Slalom National Championship here from Whiteface Mountain in beautiful Lake Placid, New York, the upper Adirondacks. A big snowstorm 2 days ago. We cleared it off yesterday, and we're doubling up our coverage here today for both the men's and the women's Slalom Championship. We'll take about an hour break here and be back with you with live broadcast coverage right at 12:15 this afternoon on the USCSA Broadcast Network. We hope you'll tune in with us and join us as we'll crown 2 national champions here later on this afternoon. The 2014 USCSA National Championships are brought to you in part by Patagonia. Their mission, to build the best product, cause no unnecessary harm, and to use business to inspire and implement solutions to the environmental crisis. Learn more at Patagonia.com, proud supporters of the USCSA. And by Reliable Racing. Whether it's Alpine and Nordic ski racing apparel and equipment, hill and event supply, sports timing equipment, or hard-to-find race gear, Reliable Racing is your one-stop shop. Check them out on the web at ReliableRacing.com. And by Hurricane Racing. When it's custom Team Alpine, Nordic, or cycling race apparel you seek, Hurricane Racing delivers. Demand the very best in custom printed ski shoes, jackets, pants, and race apparel. Demand Hurricane Racing at HurricaneRacing.com. Official sponsors of the 2014 USCSA National Championships. And by Twitchell Sportswear, the home of Yeti apparel. When you're facing truly abominable weather, the Yeti has you covered. Check out the complete collection at TwitchellSportswear.com. Proud supporters of the USCSA. That's going to do it here for round number 1. Again, about an hour away. We'll pick things right back up as we fire up round 2 for the boys. Run number 2, we are going to crown a national champion sometime later on this afternoon. Who's it going to be? Of course, the Hoogboom brothers fighting it out in slots 1 and 2. Niels Hoogboom now the defending national champion in the giant slalom and the winner of this year's national championship in GS 3 days ago. He's atop your leaderboard. But baby brother Kevin Hoogboom, or Eric Hoogboom, sorry about that, Eric. He's in second place, so it's a family affair for Rocky Mountain College and the Hoogbooms today. Who's it going to be? You'll have to tune in and find out. We'll want to know as well. And we'll be back with you later on this afternoon to bring it to you live. That's going to do it here from the Broadcast Center. We'll take an hour and a half to have some lunch, get things reset, and we'll be back with you right at 12:30 this afternoon here on the Broadcast Network. On behalf of my studio producer, that's Mr. Alan Price to my right, high above the hill. It is Mr. Matt Goodwin on top camera. Silas Haggerty, the proprietor of the Dandy Cam down here on the lower camera. And my friend and yours, Mr. Alex Beatty. This is Boss Hogg saying so long, everybody.